For the Bible says in Obadiah 1 verse 17a, upon Mount Zion there shall be deliverance. Join the victory service with great men of God with fire in their bones. They will minister life to your dry bones. Speakers include Archbishop Dr. God's Power E. Adaka, Reverend Uche Menewa, Pastor Sam Somu, and Apostle Dr. Charles Asabo.
Nothing you can do, that business that you are doing now, whatever you can use your hand to do, that gift that God has deposited in you, the whole world will look for it.
With God, all things are possible. Date Wednesday 23rd to Sunday 27th February 2016. Time 7 a.m. daily. Sunday 27th February 7 a.m. Thanksgiving service. Venue 255 Benin Sape Road after Ajib Junction, Benin City. Host Apostle Dr. and Pastor Mrs. Charles Asabo. Come and be refreshed. Jesus is Lord.
Today, I am speaking on a message I titled Dreams and Interpretations Part 2. Dreams and Interpretations Part 2. Last week, we were able to establish that God is still speaking to his children through dreams. We were able to establish that dreams can come from God, and when dreams come from God, it's for a man's benefit. We also established that dream can come from devil, which is the Satan. And any dream that comes from Satan is for destruction. So dream is very, very important in a man and a woman's life. Child of God, God is still speaking to his people through dreams. And when you are not sensitive to dreams, you will see that whatever you are doing will not move forward. This is where you will see that man, that woman not going forward in life. This is where you will find business failures. This is where you will find marriage is not working. This is where you will find delay in marriage. Why? God may have spoken to you, but you refuse to interpret it. God has placed me in 255 Benin Sape Road, kilometer 6, Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria, for me to interpret dreams to people. What kind of dream have you dreamed? God can use me to interpret that dream. Remember, the earthly father of Jesus, Joseph, God appeared to him in a dream that he should take baby Jesus and run away to Egypt because Herod wanted to kill him. A time came again. God appeared to the earthly father of baby Jesus, Joseph, that he should take baby Jesus back. Why? Because if that dream has not come, baby Jesus would have been killed by Herod. Children of God, it is a known fact that God is still speaking to his people through dreams. Our scripture today is taken from the book of Numbers, chapter 12, from verses 5 to 6.
The book of Numbers, chapter number 12, from verse 5 to 6, I read. And the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud, and stood in the door of the tabernacle, and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream.
God appeared and said, if there be a prophet among you, I will appear to that person in a vision and speak to him in a dream. Can you see? God has placed me as his own prophet, demon destroyer, an oracle of God, to interpret dreams to his people at this end time.
Christ Victory Bible Church presents Victory 2016 with the theme Divine Miracles. Are you frustrated in life, marriage, business, and career due to past mistakes or home problems? It's an error. Brethren, you can overcome, for the Bible says in Obadiah 1 verse 17a, upon Mount Zion there shall be deliverance. Join the victory service with great men of God with fire in their bones. They will minister life to your dry bones. Speakers include Archbishop Dr. God's Power E. Adaka, Reverend Uche Menewa, Pastor Sam Sonwu, and Apostle Dr. Charles Asabo.
That thing you can do, that business that you are doing now, whatever you can use your hand to do, that gift that God has deposited in you, the whole world will look for it.
With God, all things are possible. Date Wednesday 23rd to Sunday 27th February 2016. Time 7 a.m. daily. Sunday 27th February 7 a.m. Thanksgiving service. Venue 2055 Benin Sape Road after Ajib Junction, Benin City. Host Apostle Dr. and Pastor Mrs. Charles Asabo. Come and be refreshed. Jesus is Lord.
What is your dream? God can use me to interpret that dream. Anything that want to happen on this planet Earth must come through dream first. Because the spiritual controls the physical. Child of God, when you are not sensitive to dreams, you will dream and you don't go for interpretation, so many things will happen to you negatively. Why do you think you are so poor? Others have gone ahead of you, but you have remained the same. God may have told you to do some certain things that you refuse to do. Like in the case of baby Jesus. When God appeared to his earthly father, Joseph, to take him and run away. Can you see? God is still speaking. Child of God, I came to announce to you, no matter the years that you have dreamed that dream, please come and tell me. Even when you don't remember the dream, just tell me. Some time ago, you dreamed, you cannot remember. God can still use me to interpret that dream to you. Child of God, when you don't go for interpretation of your dream, so many things will happen to you. You will be wondering why these things are happening to you. It is because of that dream you refuse to interpret. When a man and a woman ignore his or her dream, so many bad things happen to that person. Dream can warn you. It can inform you. It can enlighten you. Child of God, dream is very, very, very important in a man and a woman's life. What is your dream? God can use me to interpret that dream to you. The book of Hosea 4, verse 6.
The book of Hosea 4, verse 6, I read. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
My people are destroyed for lack of not interpreting dreams.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children.
People have remained in the same spot because they refuse or ignore their dreams. They refuse to go to interpret their dream. Child of God, God has placed me in Christ Victory Bible Church, 255 Benin Saple Road, kilometer 6, Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria. For God to use me to interpret your dream. What is your dream? I am available. All you need to do is for you to come so that I will join you in faith. And God will use me to interpret that dream, and your life will move forward. Your business will move forward. Your marriage will move forward. Whatever you intend to do, all your investment will start moving forward. Because there is a spirit that is of apple. It's a very, very good dream. When you dream of apples, very, very good dream. And when you dream of red apple, it means that the time has come for you to realize your hope. It means that anything you venture into will succeed. Apple, when a man dreams of apple, it's a very, very good dream. To eat them is not as good as seeing them. When you eat apple in the dream, it's not as good as seeing them. You know, eating the apple in the dream means that some of the profit you are going to make will be eaten by the enemy. But when you just see it, very, very good dream. Especially when you see the red one, it means that any venture you put your hand to do will succeed. It means it is time for you to wake up. That business you have been saying you want to do, start it. That is the meaning of you seeing red apple. That is ripe apple. When apple is ripe, you know that business you have been saying, I will do this business, I will do this business. Go and start it. No matter how small you have, the business will succeed. Jam your hand together for the King of Kings. Seeing apples in a dream is a very, very good dream. If you have ever seen apple in your dream, I invite you so that I will now tell you the kind of prayer for you to be praying so that the manifestation of that success will appear. Child of God, nothing just happened to a man without a cause. You're struggling today, your poverty, you're rising and falling. God may have told you that business you want to do, don't do it, or don't do it in that particular place. Don't do it in that particular place. It is not every place that you do business. It is not every house you do business. When you read the book of Jeremiah 16, verse 1 to 5, Jeremiah saw a very beautiful girl he wanted to marry. God appeared and said, Jeremiah, don't marry in this place. Don't marry in this place. If you marry in this place, any woman that is married in this place dies. I have taken my blessing away from this place. You that is doing that business in that house, do you know what is in that house that you are doing business? Did you find out from God if you can do business there? That is why David, 466 wars, he never lose any. Why? He will always inquire from the Lord.
Christ Victory Bible Church presents Victory 2016 with the theme Divine Miracles. Are you frustrated in life, marriage, business, and career due to past mistakes or home problems? It's an error. Brethren, you can overcome, for the Bible says in Obadiah 1 verse 17a, upon Mount Zion there shall be deliverance. Join the victory service with great men of God with fire in their bones. They will minister life to your dry bones. Speakers include Archbishop Dr. God's Power E. Adaka, Reverend Uche Menewa, Pastor Sam Sonwu, and Apostle Dr. Charles Asabo.
Nothing you can do, that business that you are doing now, whatever you can use your hand to do, that gift that God has deposited in you, the whole world will look for it.
With God, all things are possible. Date, Wednesday 23rd to Sunday 27th February 2016. Time, 7 a.m. daily. Sunday, 27th February, 7 a.m. Thanksgiving service. Venue, 2055 Benin Sape Road, after Ajib Junction, Benin City. Host, Apostle Dr. and Pastor Mrs. Charles Asabo. Come and be refreshed. Jesus is Lord.
But you that God is even showing things to, you don't come for interpretation of dreams. When you don't come for interpretation of dreams, your life will go backward. I pray for you. After today, success will be your portion.
Amen.
Jam your hand together for the King of Kings. What are the dreams? An interpretation, number 2. To dream of seeing altar or seeing a priest at the altar means quarrel and insatisfactory state in your business. When you dream of altar, it's like this altar now. You dream of it. Or you see a pastor, a priest there. It's a sign of quarrel. Unsatisfactory in your business, in your marriage. Any man or woman that sees an altar or a priest preaching, as I'm preaching now, you will know quarrel is coming and your business will not be successful unless you come to the altar of God to deal with it. Child of God, God is still speaking to his people through dreams and vision. I pray for someone here. After today, you will come and interpret your dreams.
Amen.
Jam your hand together for the King of Kings.
Hallelujah.
Child of God, any man or woman that dream of altar like this, and a man, a priest, a pastor, evangelist preaching on it, you dream of it, it's a sign of quarrel that whatever venture you are going into will not be successful. Can you see? Child of God, dream is very, very important in a man and a woman's life. Where your life has not moved forward, it is because you ignore your dream. You ignore your dream. What dream have you dreamed? God can use me to interpret that dream for you. Jam your hand together for the King of Kings. What are the dreams and their interpretation? Number 3. To dream that you commit adultery means that court case is being instituted to you. To dream that you commit adultery means that court case is being instituted to you. So, when a man dreams and he refuses to interpret it, that person will go through pain and sorrow. That person will go through stagnation. That person will go through limitations. That person will go through setback in life. I pray for someone here. You will not go through setback in life.
Amen.
When a man dreams of committing adultery, it's a very, very bad dream. You will know that court case is coming to you. Jam your hand together for the King of Kings. But if a woman dreams of adultery, it means that that woman will not get hold of her husband's affection. When a woman dreams of adultery, it means that that woman will not get hold of her husband's affection. That is to say, the husband will not love her. The husband wants to start going out to meet another woman. So, dreams are very, very important. Dreams can instruct you. It can enlighten you. It can warn you. And any dream that comes from God is for any man and a woman's benefit. I pray for you, that man, that woman. Any dream that will come to you from today, you will come for interpretation. I did not hear your amen.
Amen.
Praise the Lord. The Bible says in Obadiah 1:17, upon Mount Zion there shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possession. Child of God, I'd like to invite you to every Thursday deliverance service taking place at Christ Victory Bible Church, 255 Benin Supply Road, Kilometer 6, Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria, at 7 o'clock in the morning. What is your problem? God can use me to remove you from that problem. Is it foundational problem? God can use me to remove you from every foundational error. Is it financial bondage? God can use me to remove you from every foundational bondage. Is it rising and falling? God can use me to remove you from that rising and falling. Is it stagnation? God can use me to remove you from stagnation. Is it delay in childbearing? God can use me to remove you from that delay in childbearing. Is it delay in marriage? God can use me. You will see your wedding ring. Child of God, people call me demon destroyer. That is why I invite you. For God to use me to remove you from every bondage. Come to theater of God, where all surgery are made without failing. I invite you every Thursday at Christ Victory Bible Church, 255 Benin Supply Road, Kilometer 6, Benin City, Edo State. You are next to be delivered. Jesus is waiting for you. Then, what are the dreams and their interpretation? Number 4. To dream of accident means avoiding traveling for a short time. When you dream of accident, it means that you should avoid traveling for a short time. If you don't, you will become a victim of death. You become a victim of death. There are some people, it's just that some people does not take time to look at body language. Do you know, some people, they know when to travel and when not to travel. Do you know, sometimes when you are just walking and your leg, your toe just miss something, you almost falling. There's a meaning to it. There's a meaning to it. Or you are just moving. It's as if somebody just tap you at the back. There's meaning. These people that knows this meaning, they know. There are some people today, in the morning, they will just be angry of themselves. But before evening, you think that you will see that joy will come. There are some too who are very, very happy in the day. Before evening, they will hear bad news. Hallelujah. Child of God, God is still speaking through his people, through dreams. Dreams is very, very important in a man and a woman's life. When you don't follow the dreams that you have dreamed to come and interpret it, that thing you are looking for, you will never get it. You will start going for deliverance here and there. You will never be delivered. I pray for someone here who have not gone to interpret his or her dream. You shall come to interpret your dreams.
Amen.
Jam your hand together for the King of Kings.
Hallelujah.
What are the dreams and their interpretation? But before we do that, let us take 1 Kings 3, verse 5.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 3, verse 5, I read. In Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and God said, ask what I shall give thee.
And God said, ask what I shall give thee. God appeared to Solomon in the night and asked Solomon, what do you want me to do for you? Can you see? Ladies and gentlemen, God appeared to Solomon in the night when Solomon was looking for wisdom to lead the people. You may have been looking for one thing to do. God may have appeared to you, but you ignored the dream. God appeared to Solomon and he asked, what do you want me to do for you? Can you see? When any dream comes from God, is for a man's benefit. The dream that comes from Satan is for destruction. What kind of destruction? For you to be poor, for you to be financially poor, for you to go through barrenness, for you to be rising and falling, for you to go through setback, for you to go through limitation. Those are the dreams that come from Satan. I want to say this here. When you are sick, you have malaria or typhoid, any dream you dream during this time, ignore it. Is it clear? When you have malaria, you are sick. Or typhoid, you are sick. Because a man that is sick will be seeing vision. They'll be bringing so many things. Ignore such dream. But when you are aware and dream come to you, you must come for interpretation of such dream. Otherwise, that your business will not move forward. You will not grow spiritually. That your marriage, you will suffer in that marriage. Other people will be enjoying their marriage, but you will be suffering. This is where you will continue to see setback. I pray for someone here. You will never go backward.
Amen.
I did not hear your amen.
Amen.
Jam your hand together for the King of Kings.
Hallelujah.
I am Apostle Charles Asabo, Senior Pastor, Christ Victory Bible Church Worldwide, 255 Benin Sapele Road, Kilometer 6, Benin City. The book of Isaiah 43:19 says, I will do a new thing. Join me this Sunday at Christ Victory Bible Church, 255 Benin Sapele Road, Kilometer 6, Benin City? Are you oppressed? Are you demon possessed? Are you looking for the blessing of the womb? What are you looking for? Our God is a God of possibility. Come to Christ Victory Bible Church this Sunday, and God will be doing a new thing in your life. Remember, we have free transportation from Ring Road, from Sakoba by 3rd Junction, from Limit Junction, from Santana Market, from Ugbo Village, and from Obel Village. I will be waiting for you this Sunday. Christ Victory Bible Church, turning the poor to prosperity. Jesus is Lord.
This is ITV. Certainly the best.
There's some other drugs like cocaine, heroin, where we catch. But na Igbo, na be the major drug where people they dealing. Apart from all this thing where we do last year, say make we stop there. These people never stop. They still they do am. And we too will not go sleep. As they not go allow us sleep, we not go let them make us sleep. The major thing, the same society, know say this thing where people they do, it no good. Make them help us. Now together we go feel erase this problem of drugs. So with the appeal say make people, make them they look their neighbor, the kind things where their neighbor they do, all the bad things where their neighbor they do, make them come talk am. Make we go together go address. Advice where I go give my people. Make una come out hand for bad things. Make una they watch ITV. Make una watch Iziga. As una they watch Iziga, una go see how bad people they enter hand. Will come suffer. So make una come out hand for bad things. Watch Iziga. Make you know your rights. Make you know the good thing where you're supposed to do. Make you know the bad things where you're not going to do. Thank you.
Watch Iziga for this station every Friday by 10:30 p.m.
This is ITV. Certainly the best.
Okay, it's a beautiful morning, and many thanks for joining us on our program today on television, independent television here in Benin City. And of course, you know that this program is This Morning on ITV. Well, we call it TMI, and you are very free to call it This Morning on ITV. Today is Wednesday, the 24th of February 2016, and just about some few days left for this month to just roll away. Well, a lot of people have actually given their reservation against this month, getting to know that it's that month of the year where you have 29 days. Well, I need to let you know now that all your fears need not to go on anymore, because in any moment from now, it's going to be the end of February. And of course, you know, it's going to be March. Well, my name is Evan Suno Hugi, and today on the program, we're packed to make sure that we give you all the best that you are going to bargain for today. And on our discussion segments, we're going to be opening up to see indigenous language. On Sunday was actually World Mother Tongue Day. And of course, special focus was on how to see how we can use any of our indigenous languages to see it as a tool of instruction in our schools. So we're going to be doing some discussions along that line today. And it will amaze you to know that a lot of people, a lot of us, yet still don't speak our mother tongue. And it's so bad to know. It is one thing that our parents out there, they really need to put effort to make sure that they teach the younger ones, our children, so that they will know how to speak these languages. Well, also on our discussion segment, we're going to be seeing doing something on internal democracy, and also to see how it affects our politics, our elections, most especially as our elections are very, very close by. Well, I understand that some political parties, starting from today, are going to be having their world congresses. So we are going to be looking at internal democracy and also see some other things. Well, you know that every Wednesday is also time where we join Inwa Rata Nusahai, the motivation man. But that is going to come when I leave here at 7:30, 8:30, and 9:30 respectively. It's going to be time for the news. So in case if you missed out yesterday evening on our main news, don't worry. 7:30, 8:30, and of course 9:30, definitely will give you all that transpired yesterday. One more time, my name is Evan Sunohuge. You're welcome.
Good morning and welcome to this segment of the program. Inuarata Nosahai is still my name, and I am the business coach. And I'm so grateful to God that this is the 6th year of my handling this motivation segment, which commenced February 24th, 2010. And this is February 24th, 2016, precisely 6 years. And I thank God for the grace so far. You know, I've been teaching on the demand to perform. I will always remind you the words of Harold S. Gini. Words are words. Performance is your only reality. Words are words. Performance is your only reality. Nobody is patient with storytelling anymore. People just want to see results. Nobody is patient with explanations of why things are not working. People want to see results. Words are words. Performance is your only reality. Performance is what is demanded, no matter the field you are functioning in, even if it's as a teacher, as a banker, as a carpenter, you are a student, an artisan, entrepreneur, whatever, field out there, endeavor you are in, what is expected from you is performance. It's performance that will make your boss to have confidence on you. It's performance that will make your customers to keep coming back for repeated back-end transaction. And that is what you need, repeated transaction, for the advancement of your business. And without performance, without you giving customer that satisfactory experience, you will not see them coming back repeatedly. The only reason you will keep seeing customers coming back repeatedly, despite the fact that you are not performing, is when they do not have a second option, when they do not have an alternative. And so you must just perform this year. As a team head, as a team member, it is very important that you take strategic performance seriously in order for you to advance the course of your career. And so the last 2 weeks, I've actually been looking at how the issue of procrastination, workplace procrastination, and all other forms of procrastination affects performance. I've looked at, the characteristics of people, who always exhibit procrastination, the traits, the tendencies you always see around them. And today, we'll just, as time will permit, we'll look at some causes of procrastination. And one of the causes of procrastinations is diversions. Diversions. Diversions are pleasurable activities that takes your attention away from those things you ought to be focusing on, and then you now delay taking step on them. Diversions are pleasurable activities that takes your attention away from those things you ought to be doing. Now, then you are now focusing on doing those things that just entertains you. You may be in the work environment, in the workplace, you are in the office, instead of actually focusing on the job, but you are on you are on social media network, and you are just chatting the time away, and you are not really doing it. That's a form of diversion. Instead of focusing on the job, the work at hand, you are involved in a discussion that doesn't really add any value to the job at hand. Instead of focusing on the job, probably you are reading a tabloid, you are reading a sports magazine, and all other forms of so many dimensions so many diversions that time will fail me, to mention. It is very important you understand that, diversions are one of those factors that leads to procrastination. Pleasurable activities that takes your attention away from those things you ought to be focusing on right now, and then you find yourself spending time on, frivolous, entertaining activities. Another causes of procrastination is indecision or indecisiveness. A situation where you find people not being able to make clear-cut decisions on what to do. We have so many people in this category. One of the factors that can lead to, indecision or indecisiveness is issue of poor self-esteem. When people don't have confidence in themselves, or they don't believe in themselves and all that, they find it difficult to make a decision that will advance their cause, that will make them productive at work, that will make them add value to their world. This is a factor that leads to procrastination. Another factor that leads to procrastination is waiting for the right mood. Oh, we have so many people in this category. You just want to feel like doing the job before they do the job. You hear them saying, I don't just feel like working now. They are waiting for feeling to work. One thing you must understand is that you don't wait for moods. Your minds need to understand, that it must, get to work. It just must work, because if you keep waiting for the moon, for the right mood, you never get to the moon, which means you don't get to the place of success. This issue of you wanting to feel like working before you walk, we actually is one of those causes of procrastination, and it will not just put you in one particular position, it will take you back. This is the practical truth. Another factor that leads to procrastination is when people, want to pursue perfectionism. Perfectionism is a factor that leads to procrastination. In this light, perfectionism is when you want to satisfy all uncertainties before you take action. A wise man said that he who observes the cloud will not get any job done. If you are waiting for the cloud to be clear, it's like you are saying it may rain, it may not rain. So because you don't know whether it will rain or it may not rain, you want to just sit down. You want to be very sure that it's not going to rain before you go out there to do what you are supposed to do. Perfectionism. You want to satisfy all uncertainties. The practical truth about life is this: you do not need to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step and then you start moving on. Because the truth is this, ceteris paribus, all things being equal, all things can never be equal. So many uncertainties are out there. Many people that have made remarkable marks in life all venture out, with so many uncertainties. Is it the owner of this organization? Is it Dangote? Is it so many people out there, that are really making mark in life? They venture out with so many uncertainties around there. That's why you call it, venture. It's an adventure, as it were. So many uncertainties are out there. So government policy may not be favorable. You may not sure of where the next supplies will be coming from for that business. But all the same, you went out. You don't need to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step and you start moving on. Another factor that equally leads to procrastination is lack of organization. When people don't really settle down to plan their time and all the rest. This is very, very important. You know all these things and then know how to begin to work on them. Then, as I begin to conclude this morning, let me now tell you some ways you can overcome procrastination. And one of those ways you can overcome procrastination is for you to learn to always leverage on your premium moments. especially as someone that is an employee, an entrepreneur, and as a student. Now, your premium moment is that time where you are most productive. It's that time that you bring out the best of yourself. Everybody has his or her own premium moment. Some of you, maybe when you get home, you need to just start sleeping around 10 p.m., wake up at 3 a.m., and then the best of you comes out. Some of you get to the office and know your premium moment, the time you are most productive, is between 8 a.m. and 12 noon or 11 a.m. That is the time you are most productive. What do? You must make sure that you know all the activities, all the tasks you need to execute, you quickly attend to them during your premium moment. That time that you are most productive, the assignment your team leader has given you, the responsibility, your departmental head has given you, should be attended to during your premium moment. That time that you are most productive is your premium moment. This is very important. Another way you equally overcome procrastination is for you to deliberately block diversions or take them out of sight, especially during your premium moment. Another way you overcome procrastination is for you to deliberately block diversions and take them out of sight, especially during your premium moment. Now, what are diversions? I told you earlier on, diversions are those pleasurable activities that takes your attention away from those things you ought to be focusing on, and then you are subsumed in entertaining activities. So some of them, like I said, could be the social media and all that. When you are going to work, take your smartphone or any device, internet device you are using, disconnect the internet, because as you are working, you hear the signal sound that a mail has just come in, or there is a notification on your Facebook, or your WhatsApp message just arrived, or your BBM message just arrived. It is very, very difficult for you to resist not taking that device to check the message. So disconnect your internet, take away your sports tabloid magazines and all the rest, so that you can focus on the job and then you execute the best of performance. This is very, very important. Time will fail me to continue to tell you more and more, but I believe you want to reach me so that we can take things to another level. We organize a training session for your staff, build their capacity along this line so that they will be able, to perform very well this year, 2016, and give you the best of results. My phone number is 080-6686-5060. It's right there on the screen. The Glow line, 080-529-29 again, 120. I'll be seeing you next week, Wednesday. And when I return, my name will still be Inuarata no Sahai. Your day is blessed. Thank you.
Thank you very much for finding time to join us again on our program this morning on ITV. And you heard that, you watched Inuarata no Sahai when he talked about procrastination. It's one thing that a lot of people do not know, that it will prevent them from making progress. Why do you have to procrastinate? Why don't you make those efforts to make sure that all you need to do today, you just do them? Don't postpone them to tomorrow, because tomorrow has its own problems. So let the issues of today be done for today. Well, my name is Evan Sunokuge one more time. And of course, let's see what the papers are saying today on our program this morning on ITV. And our first port of call will be on the Sun newspaper. And I have this first one that comes, and it says that Abia North, why Igbo need Kalu Iheke. And of course, you have some more headlines there on the Sun newspaper. And let's see now. I've got this next one that says that Nigeria rejects Saudi's offer to join Islamic State coalition against terror. And that is coming on the occasion that we understand that the president, traveled out of the country recently. And let's move on now on the Sun newspaper. Still, TUC serves federal government notice for minimum wage increase is also a story you need to look at for today on the Sun newspaper. And Sheriff to quit as PDP national chairman in May. Sheriff to quit as PDP national chairman in May. And also, I've got this one now. Let's see. I have this one that says that $24 billion oil swap deals. My story by Desiani. And of course, you have the picture of the former minister of petroleum there, Desiani. And you can see, the picture. It's quite, a touchy one there. $24 billion oil swap deals. My story by Desiani. And let's see more stories. And I have this one that says that the fall of the House of Bush, or how the Donald bond jet. Well, that's on the foreign scene there. Still on the Sun newspaper, I've got some other stories. And I have this one that says that crisis in Kebbi, PDP. Okay, let's see now. I'll just have to go through them so that you can see them better. And I have this one that says that protesters story, National Assembly for Marafa. Protesters storm, protesters storm National Assembly for Marafa. You get a copy of the Sun so that you can read up all that story. And of course, I've got this one now that says that Kano government stops Tethin from joining ISIS. Kano governor stops 13 from joining ISIS. You get a copy of that so that you can read up all that story. Shooting continues in Rivers. There's also a story on the Sun newspaper. Even after the election, shooting continues in Rivers. And beneath it, you have Kaba PDP ask Senator Adeyemi not to leave party. Kaba PDP ask Senator Adeyemi not to leave party. PDP, no respite for Sheriff is also a story there. And crisis in Kebbi, PDP, 2 chairmen emerged. While still on the Sun newspaper, we have got some other stories. And I've got this one that says that Madwagu Inkeme Kulam on Obulu Oku. And of course, a big question. We are taking a big statement here now. We are taking things slowly, says Obi Akeze. Well, away from the Sun newspaper, let's see some other stories on all the papers for today, this 24th day of February 2016. Remember, it's a very good day, I must say, a promising day for me, and I hope that you are keen into that too. Okay, the Sun, the Punch newspaper now is just trying to boot up. Okay, as it comes up, let's see some other papers as they also come on the program this morning on ITV. I love the fact that you wake up in the morning. You cannot just help it but to make sure that you go through your daily papers and you read so that you can get information. Okay, I have the Daily Post. The Daily Post is next, and I've got this one that says that many killed as suspected Fulani herdsmen raid Agutu community. Many killed as suspected Fulani herdsmen raid Agutu community on the Daily Post for today. And also moving on, I've got this one now that says that Naira now 364 to $1. And I think there seems to be a little decrease now as against how it was a few days ago, where we were told that it was up almost about 390 Naira to $1. Now we are reading here that Naira now 364 to $1. And I have this one that says that Ifan Yuba threatens to name those behind Forex crisis in Nigeria. That's a big one there. And of course, I have this next one now that says that Army explains raid on home of ex-militant leader Solomon Ndigbara. You get a copy of the Daily Post so that you can read up all that story as you get along your day. Senate threatens to revoke seized plots. Seized plots relocated to lawmakers. Here's also a story there on the Daily Post. Senate threatens to revoke seized plots relocated to lawmakers. And of course, DPP recommends trial of ExxonMobil worker accused of raping minor. Also a big story there on the Daily Post. Buhari appoints Oniboyo Adio as executive secretary of NEITI. You get a copy of that so that that is NEITI. You get a copy of that so that you can read up all that story. Another witness reveals how Nimasa paid him 29 million naira for no contracts. Still on the anti-graft crisis there, cases there. And also, Nigeria Stock Exchange renews contracts of CEO Oscar Oyema. Get a copy of that so that you can read up all that story. Well, let's see something on the Punch. I think we have the Punch now. Okay, the Punch is up now. Let's see something on the Punch newspaper for today. Remember, the program is this morning on ITV, independent television here in Benin City. Okay, we are reaching you live and directly. And I've got this one now that said that President plans to install Northerner as CAN leader, group alleges. President plans to install Northerner as CAN leader, group alleges. Well, let's see how that will come as we get along that story. Please, I urge you to pick up the Punch newspaper for today so that you can read this story. President plans to install Northerner as CAN leader, group alleges. And of course, Obiano to critics, I'm not a hungry governor. He's saying that there. Obiano to critics, I'm not a hungry governor. We won't alter 6.07 budget size, says reps. You get a copy of that still on the budget story, on the budget saga. Remember, recently we were told that the National Assembly rejected and postponed the passage to another death. Okay, we've got this one that says that Tompolo, okay, I'll just go back to it now. Tompolo asked Apex courts to avoid arrest warrants. Tompolo have asked appeal court, I beg your pardon, to avoid arrest warrants. Okay, still moving on. I've got this one now that says that corrupt persons in legislature, judiciary, and that comes in from the vice president himself. Corrupt persons in legislature, and of course the judiciary, or Shibanjo is saying that now. And I have this one that says that EFCC links ex-CDS Bade to 4.4 billion naira Nimasa fraud. EFCC links ex-CDS Bade to 4.4 billion naira Nimasa fraud. Then, of course, PDP, Wambara, Shagari, Juta asked Sheriff to resign. Still a big one there. And, of course, I've got this one now that says that Buhari to visit Saudi, Qatar to discuss oil price. Well, we hope that that will bring some big, promises so that the issue of oil, as we are going through it today in the country, will be something that all of us will rejoice about. Well, still moving on the paper review segment, let's see something on the Vanguard newspaper. On the Vanguard newspaper, okay, I have it. It's just button up. Okay, I have the stories now on the Vanguard newspaper. And, of course, we have this one that says that I am not ready for trial. And that comes in from Dasuki. I am not ready for trial. That comes in from Dasuki. And, of course, we have this one that says that Tompolo seek court's ruling on his appeal. I read that also on the Daily Post. Tompolo seeks court's ruling on his appeal. Confusion in PDP as Ali Modu Sharif emerged as PDP national chairman. And also Boko Haram hungry, desperate. Lai Mohammed is saying that now. Boko Haram hungry, desperate. That comes in from the Minister of Information. Let's see, I caught him masturbating. There's also a story there. You get a copy of that so that you can read up that. And of course, why broadband is focus of NCC and NCC's 8-point agenda. And that comes in from Dan Bata. Well, probe Supreme Court to save judiciary. Akwa Ibom APC tells Buhari. And I think that's against, that's on, on the accounts where some Nigerians have actually said that the Supreme Courts have to be probed. I think that has to do with some judgments that were made recently concerning the elections that were held. And of course, I've got this one now. It says that construction firm faults ILOT on the Sopade contract report. Well, let's quickly see Sahara Reporters, few stories from Sahara Reporters before we make preparations for the AM News at 7:30. Okay, Sahara Reporters trying to boot up. Okay, I have some stories on Sahara Reporters for today. Okay, I've got some stories now. And I have this one that says that EFCC arrest ex-minister Abamoro, 2 others over 2014 immigration recruitment scam. I remember all that transpired in 2014 where young Nigerians, died as a result of immigration recruitment exercise. Okay, we have the story now. EFCC arrest ex-minister Abamoro, 2 others over 2014 immigration recruitment scam. And also, still on Sahara Reporters, Federal High Court judge overrules Supreme Court's grant order to stop sack of Anambra senators. And okay, I've got this one too on the Sahara Reporters. Arrested with fake passport. Who? You get a copy of the Sahara Reporter so that you can find who these people are. 13 arrested with fake passports. And lastly, protesters demand Saraki's resignation as they besiege National Assembly. Well, these are some of the stories you have to read up for today as you get along your day. The program is this morning on ITV. We'll take the AM News at 7:30. And of course, after that, we'll join Ifoma Igwe Okafor for viewpoints, after which we'll come with our discussion segment. Stay tuned.
My country people, una remember Easter Gbedu? Yes, Independent to television and radio don't come again. Oh, this one na meristic sorgarism for papa, mama, brother, sister, pikin. Even that to baby when they inside belle will never arrive. You take inclusion for this Easter Gbedu. Hey, gwe.
Skibby 1, Skibby 2, Skibby 3,
Don't let them do you take. Come mark a present as a gift to Sakwa for Gate. An additional gift for competitions like gospel singing competition, football juggling, egg raising, filling the bottle, aim competition, and the star prize. Now, boom! For damn. That gospel band and the DJ Amando. Then they on ground Gidigba to make you dance like Ikoto. ITV Radio. Una no go kill person, no. The date now Monday 28th March for 2016. The time now 11 o'clock for morning. Venue Unko now ITV Radio Corporate Headquarters for Glass House, Airport Road for Benin City. The gate fees now Ogbele 500 naira for one person. Make I see you there. This Ogbonge program will get support from Univer Institute of Technology for Siloko Road for Benin City.
The threat of global warming is real. You have seen the destruction of lives and property as a result of incessant flooding. Make the environment a conducive place for all to live in. Stop polluting the environment. Protect the environment today. This message is brought to you courtesy Independent Television and Radio.
It's a very good morning. Many thanks for joining me. This is ITV AM News. I am Ogochukwu Bamidele. A pensioner yesterday morning slumped and died while waiting to be screened in the exercise put together to fish out ghost pensioners in the public service in Edo State. Ikbamusa Ogiagbe reports that the incident threw other pensioners into panic.
Confusion at Oredo Local Government Secretariat as workers trooped out of their offices to catch a glimpse of the remains of the pensioner who slumped and died while waiting to be screened for his monthly entitlement. The remains of the late pensioner laid in the seat in the reception hall of the Oredo Local Government Secretariat. It was gathered that the late pensioner was at the Secretariat to participate in the screening for local government pensioners. It was learned that trouble started when the pensioners who earlier gathered at the Secretariat were told to relocate to Rockwater Hall where the screening would take place, only to discover that the pensioner had collapsed and died. Some pensioners lamented the situation, attributing the death to stress and lack of money.
It is stress. I suspect very much stress. He may have been there without food or any other thing else. Since 9 months, he has not been paid 1 month pension. He may not have any other source of livelihood.
But this morning when he came, when I saw him by the upstairs, but he said he has no power and that he has no money to buy any medicine or another food that he managed here. But on the long run, I now come and see he died.
He came here for skinny. Can't do skinny. So now, with me also, because this is my own paper. I never even submit my own. 9 months, I believe say now because never eat, now I kill her so. Empty belly, now I can't do it. Almost 3 times more than 3 times where they do skinny, but salary they come, we don't see salary.
The remains of the dead pensioner were later taken to the mortuary. Ikmomosa Ogiagbe reporting.
The crisis in the Benin branch of the Nigerian Bar Association has assumed another dimension following the emergence of 2 factions. Pius Nsogo reports that while a faction insists that the alleged suspended chairman of the association, Barrister Patricia Yomon, remains the substantive chairman, another faction says Barrister Emmanuel Ojekan is the new chairman in line with the directive of the National Executive Council of the association.
Some lawyers cited at the NBA Secretariat who pleaded anonymity attributed the alleged removal of Patricia Iyomo to her criticism of some policies of the Edo State government, citing the illegal demolition of some Uniben landed property. They challenged the power of the National Executive Council of the NBA to remove any branch chairman. Barrister President Aibokan, an executive member of the association, said Barrister Iyomo remains the branch chairman, adding that the NBA National Executive Council lacked the constitutional power to remove an elected chairman of a branch.
But she was elected here, and until the members here who are under her decide to remove her, I think she is still in office till August. There's an issue in the High Court over the validity of the abrogation of the customary Court of Appeal. The NBA and some other persons took the matter to court. So the issue with the national and the state is that the state cannot take up such an issue with the name of the NBA without getting an approval from the national NBA.
In a swift reaction, the vice chairman of the Benin branch of the association, Barrister Emmanuel Ojekan, who has been directed to act as chairman by the National Executive Council of NBA, justified the action of the national body, pointing out that certain allegations were levied against Barrister Iyomo by the national president of the NBA and that she was warned to make amends, which she ignored, hence her removal.
There are reasons that the president gave for why she should be removed. She listed out the reasons, he interpreted the reasons to include allegation that she took 2 million naira she's alleged to have taken 2 million naira from the political party in order to organize the Juson strike. There's an allegation to that effect. Then he filed a suit against the state government. That is, the MB filed a suit against the state government. and that the branches have no right to file a suit against the state government without the authority of the NBA National.
Normally, as with everything in life, there are normal reactions, those in support of it and those against it. But you see, that is irrespective because it's a national directive. The NEC is the highest decision-making body of the bar. The NEC has the power to create branches and the branch places.
When contacted for comment on the matter, Barrister Patricia Iyomo told the news crew that she was indisposed and would not be available for interview. Pius Nsogo reporting.
And controversy is brewing over the alleged plans by some unnamed party leaders to include more names to the delegate list of the Edo State chapter of the APC for the forthcoming governorship election in the state. Afosa Wangwe reports that the plan is unacceptable to some members of the party.
Indication that controversy is brewing over the delegate lists for the governorship primaries of Edo State APC emerged following a report that the national headquarters of the party has blocked an alleged attempt to include more names in the list by some unnamed party leaders. Confirming the information, the State Publicity Secretary of the APC, Comrade Godwin Iran, said only the National Secretariat has the details of the issue and those involved. Comrade Iran, however, said any attempt from any quarters to include more names in the delegate list will amount to an exercise in futility, as such a decision has not been discussed at the party executive council meeting. He advised aspirants not to allow themselves to be swindled, insisting that smuggling more names into the delegates list through the back door is an attempted fraud that is dead on arrival.
To avoid a situation of fraud and sharp practices, we must ensure that there will be no replacement at all, and there will be no plus, no minus from the original list of delegates as compiled after the Congress of 2014. And therefore, only those who were elected then as delegates can vote at the primary that is to come. Anybody who is any delegate who whether is not part of APC any longer, whether as a result of death or defection, cannot be replaced.
Also speaking in the same vein, the state chairman of the party, Asem Ojezwa, who spoke in a telephone interview, said nobody can doctor the delegate list as they are known by all. On the issue of whether or not those that died or left the party can be replaced, the chairman said the state will make formal reports to the national for consideration.
That one can be done in accordance with the provisions of our constitution. When we have those information, we will also pass it on to the national executive.
Those aspiring to pick the APC ticket for the forthcoming Edo State governorship election include the Deputy Governor, Dr. Pius Udubu, the Chairman of Edo State Economic Team, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, former Minister of State for Works, Engineer Chris Ogewoyi, former Governor of Edo State, Professor Sereme Osumbo, Barrister Ken Imaswagbon, Charles Ariawe, among others. Efosa Wangwe reporting.
And all card-carrying members of the PDP in Edo State have been reminded that the Congress dates previously advertised by the national headquarters of the party stands. A statement by the chairman, PDP Congress Committee, Vital Aben, says that the World Congress in Edo State will hold today, Wednesday, 24th February 2016, at the various ward headquarters. The statement called on members to ensure that they come out en masse to be part of the congresses. In the meantime, the numerical strength of the People's Democratic Party in Edo State has continued to increase by the day following the defection of another group of former members of the APC and SDP in Sabungidaura, Owan West local government area into the party. Best in Bureau reports that State Chairman of the PDP, Chief Dan Obe, while receiving the defectors, spoke on some salient issues affecting the state.
It is unusual to see people leaving a party that is in government to join the opposition party. Today, we are witnessing that type of movement in our West. For those joining us today, I want to appreciate you for this bold step. I want to assure all of you that you will not regret the decision you have taken today.
PDP Chairman Chief Dan Obi welcoming the former APC and SDP local government chairmen in Onwa West, including their supporters, into the People's Democratic Party. Leaders of the defectors, Mr. Peter Wagboy, who was a former local government chairman of the All Progressives Congress, and Pastor Ojo Age, a former local government chairman of the Social Democratic Party, said they are joining the PDP to prepare the groundwork ahead of the 2016 governorship election.
We know the reason why we are coming to this party is to join us in the rebuilding and make it better, this party, for each and every one of us in Jesus' name. Yeah.
I am the father of SDP in Onwa West. So now that I have come outside, all my children, over 3,500 members of SDP are ready to move into PDP with me.
Speaking after receiving the defectors, the PDP chairman, Chief Dan Obi, while reacting to the recent disbandment of the Edo State Traffic Management Agency by the comrade governor, said the party was not surprised by the decision of the government to scrap the agency, as according to him, such move only confirms the party warnings to the people that the state government would dissociate itself from its past policies just to gain the sympathy of members of the public ahead of the gubernatorial election. He described the disbandment of ESMA as policy somersaults on the part of government.
Not too long ago, we came out with a statement that now that elections are approaching, the governor will start disassociating himself from the scenes of his government. The critical questions I would like to put before the governor. This is a body that has been operating in the state since it came into office. They have uniform given to them by the government. They have ID cards issued to them by the government. And their operational headquarters was part of the Ministry of Works. So to just wake up, and they were on salaries. They were collecting money. This money was paid into a bank account. It is not enough for the governor now to wash his hands of this body. Let us know who issued them the operational headquarters, where they've been operating for many years in Edo State.
Chief Dan Obi also announced that the party will soon conduct its governorship primaries and noted that there is room for any interested person to participate. On his part, a chieftain of the party and governorship aspirant, Pastor Saige Izeyamu, and former commissioner for health in Edo State, Dr. Wilson Imoga, said it was interesting that members of the ruling party are joining forces with the PDP, adding that the umbrella of the People's Democratic Party is large enough to accommodate as many people who are interested in joining PDP.
We are grateful for their confidence in us. I want to assure them that we will not disappoint. We know that with their coming in, PDP is going to become a lot stronger at local government. You will recall in the presidential election we won here. But with their coming here now, I see us doing extremely well. And what is happening here is what I also envisage going to happen in the other local government areas. This is just the beginning of a lot of the campaign you're going to be seeing in the next few months.
On the other side, there is no fulfillment of political promises. In our West, we cannot put a finger on what has happened in the positive development the past 8 years. And so they decided to come back home. And of course, the umbrella is big enough, and so we are receiving them home.
In the past few days, during the sensitization tour by the People's Democratic Party in Edo State, the party received different groups of defectors from the 18 local government areas of the state. Best Mbiere reporting.
The proposed judgment on the sack of Owedo local government chairman, Osawa Obaze, by the Edo State House of Assembly on the orders of the Edo State governor suffered a setback yesterday. Kingsley Uchegbu reports that the development was necessitated by a fresh motion by the Claimants Council for the courts to declare as illegal a resolution by the Edo State House of Assembly which sacked Mr. Osawa Obaze as chairman of Edo local government when the matter was still in court.
With judgment fixed for today, counsel to the claimant, Osawa Obaze, Barrister Kingsley Obamoge, approached the court with a fresh motion which prayed the court to nullify and declare as illegal
a resolution passed by the Edo State House of Assembly on 3rd February 2016, removing Osaro Baze as chairman of Oredo local government. Barrister Obamuge noted that the act of the third defendant was in contempt since the matter was already before the court. Counsel to defendants, Barrister M.O. Irende, pleaded for 7 days to study and defend the fresh motion, which was granted by the presiding judge, Justice Esohe Ibonwe. Hearing was adjourned to 1st March 2016 to enable State Counsel, Barrister M.O. Irende, react to the motion and for claimant's counsel to argue the amendment effected in the motion. State Counsel, Barrister M.O. Irende, could not be reached for comments, while Counsel to Osaro Baze, Barrister Kingsley Obamuge, speaks on the proceedings.
The Edo State House of Assembly on the 3rd of February 2016 publicly passed a resolution removing our client from as chairman of Oredo local government. Well, we had to react to that motion by bringing an amendment to our claim for the court in order to enable the court declare the resolution illegal and unconstitutional.
In an earlier judgment on the demolition of a property belonging to Chief David Felix, located at number 17 Inner Street off Erunse Street, Benin City, by the former chairman, Committee on Demolition of Illegal Structures, Major Lawrence Loye, retired, the court awarded a total of 49 million naira against Major Loye for illegal demolition of the property, of which 10 million naira was awarded as special damage to the claimant. Kingsley Uchebu reporting.
There is respite for prospective candidates of the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board (JAMB) Unified Matriculation Examination in Edo State following their ability to access the website of JAMB yesterday. Adeswalato reports that unlike the day before when there was a complaint of inability to access the JAMB website, the influx of candidates to the examination body's office in Benin City was reduced.
When the news crew visited JAMB office in Benin, it was discovered that there were only few candidates on the queue waiting to reprint their slips. Unlike Monday when a mammoth crowd tried to print without success. Also contrary to the situation the previous day, it was easy to access the JAMB online site for the reprint. The situation was the same at other JAMB centers visited as candidates easily carried out their activities online. Some of the candidates who already have their reprint expressed satisfaction at the process, saying that it took them less than 30 minutes to acquire theirs, while others were still on the queue waiting for their turn.
Well, yesterday everywhere was crowded with students, and there was network problem. So we spent almost 8 hours here. Nothing was done. Today we thank God. Even me, as you are seeing it, I'm with my slip here with me, my printout. So with everything I've reprinted today. So and I'm even having the exam on the 12th of next month.
We were here yesterday throughout. Before we now submitted the slip, and we went home. We came back this morning. They now gave it to us that we should go and pay 100 naira for we to be able to reprint. But today actually it was very successful. There was no stress. Some students are still waiting. They are still waiting to collect their slip, but I have collected mine this very morning, so there was no stress. Everything was absolutely okay.
Yesterday they said no network, and today everything went fine. It took about 15 minutes to be printed.
Yesterday they said we should keep it here, and we'll come back today to collect it. So as I came here today, I got it immediately.
It's been very good. The reprint program has been good and okay since morning, since when they started. The network has been fast and it was all right.
At the time of this report, more candidates were seen trooping in at the different JAMB registration centers to print their slips. Adesuwa Lato reporting.
This is ITV AM News, live on independent television from Benin City, Nigeria. We'll take a break. When we return, more stories to come your way. Stay tuned.
When the sky is your limit, there is only one school where you can reach for the sky. Beninin Education Center. Beninin Education Center Secondary School invites application for admission into its basic 7 and 8, that is GSS 1 and 2, and senior secondary SS1 and 2 for the 2016-2017 academic session. Application forms inclusive of school's prospectus and information package for the entrance examination can be obtained on payment of a non-refundable fee of 10,000 naira cash from Admissions Office, Igbenedun Education Center, 218 to 220 Murtala Mohammed Way, Benin City, Edo State. Application forms can also be downloaded from the school's website at www.igbeneduneducation.com. Entrance examination and interview will take place at Igbenedun Education Center, 218 to 220 Murtala Mohammed Way, Benin City, Edo State, on Saturday, 19th March 2016 by 9 a.m. prompt. The results will be released same day. If you are good in English, mathematics, and the sciences, then this is your school. Igbenedun Education Center is a 21st century school with all modern first-class academic and boarding facilities. Igbenedun Education Center, educating leaders of the 21st century.
Experience exquisite comfort, luxury redefined, and hospitality at its best at City Inn Hotel and Suites. We offer accommodation in tastefully furnished rooms with free internet facility, a restaurant, an indoor and outdoor bar well stocked, laundry services, 24-hour power supply, and a spacious car park. Come, let's spoil you a little at City Inn Hotel and Suites, 1 Urubi Street, ERO, Benin City. Telephone 0807 666 1000 or 0807 565 8888. City Inn Hotel and Suites, charming style and cozy comfort.
Many thanks for staying tuned. You're still watching ITV AM News. Just in case you'll be stepping out, don't forget you can take us along with you via all your internet-enabled devices. All you need to do is log in using our website, www.itvradioNigeria.com/live. And now to the rest of the news. Residents in Benin City have expressed worry over the prevailing excessive heat day and night. Adeswalato reports that medical practitioners highlight the implications of excessive heat on human health.
When the news crew visited JAMB office in Benin, it was discovered that there were only few candidates on the queue waiting to reprint their slips. Unlike Monday, when a mammoth crowd tried to print without success. Also contrary to the situation the previous day, it was easy to access the JAMB online site for the reprint. The situation was the same at other JAMB centers visited, as candidates easily carried out their activities online. Some of the candidates who already have their reprint expressed satisfaction at the process, saying that it took them less than 30 minutes to acquire theirs, while others were still on the queue waiting for their turn.
Well, yesterday everywhere was crowded with students, and there was network problem. So we spent almost 8 hours here. Nothing was done. Today we thank God. Even me, as you are seeing it, I'm with my slip here with me, my printout. So with everything I've reprinted today. So and I'm even having the exam on the 12th of next month. We were here yesterday.
We sincerely apologize for the mix-up in that report. And moving ahead, some members of the public in Benin are apprehensive over the inscriptions on walls and fences advertising for recruitment of workers. Ikwamusa Ogiagbe, who went around town, reports that respondents describe the new trend as a means to dupe unsuspecting persons.
Reacting to the excessive heat, some respondents complained that they experience profuse sweating, sleeplessness at night, and tiredness. They said that they find it difficult to cope, especially in the absence of power supply, as they are forced to resort to using hand fan.
Everywhere is so very hot. You can see me now. I'm using my handkerchief now. Both day and night, everywhere is so hot.
The heat is too much. I really don't think I can bear it.
Speaking on the implication of excessive heat, some medical practitioners said that there are various implications on human health as a result of high temperature caused by the sun. Implications are weaknesses of the immune system, which give room for parasites to thrive, thereby causing malaria, heat stroke, which lead to dehydration, loss of fluid in the body, inhalation of dust and organisms in the air, amongst others. They advised residents to always give room for adequate cross ventilation by keeping their windows opened, taking off flutes, and avoid going out unnecessarily.
Sometimes when you are exposed to excessive heat, which is a result of the sun, especially among the people that we call the albino, the effect of the sun, of course, when it's on them, they tend to have a disease of skin.
Weather has been unusually very hot during this period, and it has also its medical implications. One of them is dehydration. People can easily get dehydrated because of incessant heat, because you are sweating a lot, you are losing a lot of heat excessively, even through your breathing, and of course, your urine will also be less because you are sweating more.
Adesuwa Lato reporting.
We once more apologize for that mix-up. Some members of the public in Benin are apprehensive over the inscription on walls and fences advertising for recruitment of workers. Ikmamusa Ogiagbe, who went around town, reports that respondents describe the new trend as a means to dupe unsuspecting persons.
A drive round some major and adjoining streets in Benin metropolis revealed that most fences now have inscriptions such as job vacancy, daily workers needed, factory workers needed, and others on them. These inscriptions, which also advertise the amount to be paid either on daily or monthly basis, ranging from 3,000 naira to 30,000 naira, also bear telephone numbers on them. Some members of the public described the trend as a way of defrauding unsuspecting members of the public.
When we went there, they only gathered us in a kind of a place, in a shade, and they started telling us another different version. So, and that employment is not, we are short of employment, no employment anywhere. They are just, those are fake.
They are all fraudsters, firstly, and secondly, they promote immorality.
I don't believe it. It's not real. As a matter of fact, it's not real because I've tried it and I have about 3 people who have also tried it. It is not real. When you get there, they'll start telling you other things.
Commenting on the development, Edo State Chairman of Trade Union Congress, Comrade Marshal Ohwe, said some people are capitalizing on the high level of unemployment to defraud job seekers. Comrade Ohwe advised job seekers to be cautious in order not to fall prey to the antics of fraudsters.
Because they are aware of the unemployment situation in the country, that a high array of youths are unemployed, they now capitalize on it to scam people, take money from them unnecessarily. I want to use this opportunity to call on the state, local government, and federal government to please create jobs for the teeming youth so that they will have employment.
Ikmamusa Ugiagbe reporting.
We'll now take a quick look at the weather forecast for cities across Nigeria and the rest of the globe for today, Wednesday, the 24th day of February 2016. Do stay tuned. And that's the size of our package for the AM News. Many thanks for watching. Coming up next is Viewpoints with Ifeoma Igwe-Okafor. And then the discussion segment on CMI comes up immediately after Viewpoints. I am Oguchukwu Bamidele. Good morning.
Independent television, certainly the best.
Continues to fall against the US dollars. Viewpoint went round town to sort of views of some stakeholders on what they think of the issue as to how it's affecting our everyday life and the possible way forward. Good morning. I am Ifeoma Igwe-Okafor.
Fish where would they buy now? Before you know say feed food where they take the feed and then they bought and they come. So to buy for here now, we know they say and they buy again. People when they buy the feed, they feed fish. They know they feed they buy them. They take and feed fish, they not go for sell. So we where they buy too, they affect us. So see and buy now sell, na problem. As we there and I see the two fish when I get for grant, when I just I not see buy come sell. And at the end now they see money when I take they pay school fees for my children. They feed them. This one and 200 before we sell them. But now at 350 as a small rich.
Dollar weight here. It affects.
Well. Even God now before we they buy 9,000, now 15,000. You know if you sell now. See what we sell. No, you know they let us. This one before we they sell 200, it's not 300-400. We don't feel they sell and sell. Every day they say my answer where we they follow, but they say now safer. They are safer still high. She don't understand. They say it's still high. We know they feel bad. We just tired. Even customer when they follow us by say they cry. So they we not can they even kiss men now. Before I used to kiss 7 be 8. Now if I kiss 3, I know they say because it's too dear. People when we they follow they buy. If we ask they say why this meat can't dear like this? They'll say dollar high. What it can concern cow with the dollar for inside? We don't know what it there inside. Now before we they buy this leg of cow, we they buy 30-35. This time we they buy 55-60. How we go take sell and we go correct? If you see 15 naira meat, maybe I cut and you see them. This very one and before we they cut 15 naira meat like this. Now see 15 naira meat. They go complain. All customers if they buy, they go return it to us. Say it's too small. See how for this. This one where they cut 15 naira before, that be 100 naira. How we go take sell and we go survive? I beg this dollar way high, so make this our government when they talk about the dollar way high, because those will not get picky for our bro, we know the change dollar. If they affect us, we go markets now. The price where they put for us, we know they feed the buyer. See customer full ground now, money no day, and we no fit buy the see and this small one now. Yes. Now 400, 200. They say we need change. The change now. Dollar they increase. Everything na dollar. You want buy Maggi na dollar. You want buy salt na dollar. You want buy meat na dollar. So we don't know what they go for this Nigeria again.
If we go market before basket, we buy 3,000. We buy 4,000. But now, if we go market today, I go market now. I bet tomatoes 5,000, 7,000. I ask my aboki say, what is happen? That's not $1. I say, sure, dollar see rich tomatoes say again. People will buy 3,000, 2,000, no, 8,000, 9,000 last.
Now we dey buy plantain 1.5 for dozen before 2,000, but now 6,000, 7,000. Now here now they manage, they do everything. We know they use dollar, but at any time when we want buy, they go talk say dollar affect the plantain. The way the situation is in this country now is too bad. Whenever you go to the market, it's not just, it's everyday thing. You go today, you buy for this price. Maybe you buy something for 200 naira today. You go tomorrow, they'll say it's 250. You go next tomorrow, they'll say it's 270. Every day the thing is just getting increasing. They'll say today dollar is 310 naira. tomorrow is 390. The other day, we don't know when maybe dollar will soon get to 500 naira. So we are pleading, if there's anything our president or the governor can do, they should help us. We are dying in this country.
We find ourselves where we are because our leaders in the past were not futuristic. They were not proactive. They never really have thought of the implication of wealth without work. I think what we have found ourselves doing over the years is enjoying wealth without work. Nigerians, first of all, must appreciate this position that we have an issue on hand that must be dealt with headlong. And in dealing with it, everybody must be prepared to make sacrifice.
The power of the foreign currencies that have to do with dollar, pound sterling, and euro, as against our naira, is dependent on the simple economics theory of demand and supply. As we have it today, the urge to have the dollar to use to get goods and services from abroad is increasing in Nigeria, as Nigerians are about 90% dependent on foreign goods. We are not a productive nation as far as the present situation is concerned. We have allowed the oil economy to cause a lot of trouble for us because we abandoned the agricultural economy and the economy of the solid minerals. And now that the oil prices have fallen so much downwards, we need alternative goods to fall back to, or alternative national products to fall back to. Therefore, whereas the president is insisting that the central bank fixed price of 197 naira to $1 remains and that they're not willing to devalue the naira officially, and the central bank compounded the problem by refusing to sell dollars to Bureau de changes as a result of the allegation that Bureau de changes were buying at 197 and selling over 300, which was also a good decision as far as I'm concerned. Because you cannot be taking 197, then you come out to sell over 250, 260 to the people there. Now that they have done that, the economy, as far as the dollar is concerned, is implementing by the day. The nosedive is so terrible now that though Bureau de changes are sourcing their own foreign currencies through the multinational companies and individuals who are repatriating funds into the country. As we have it, the domiciliation accounts for dollar that we had expected by now, that those who open dollars accounts should be paying into, such persons are not paying into it because they are so scared that one of, for instance, I pay in and government doesn't allow me to withdraw. So the fear is just everywhere. Government needs to sit right now because if care is not taken, by today it's over 380 something to the dollar, 380 something naira to the dollar. And the implications are so very grave and much to the effect that virtually everything we need to do, virtually everything in this country is dependent on what we import. The prices of goods and services are rising, the money available to the average Nigerian is not increasing, and virtually everything is going upwards. The demand for dollar is increasing, the supply is going downwards. So if you have the demand increasing and the supply is going downwards, that's to tell you that the dollar to the naira will continue to increase astronomically.
Something has to be done urgently to arrest the fall of our naira. If something is not done urgently to arrest this fall, I believe in my mind that there will come a time when the economy of Nigeria will grind to a halt. God forbid it comes to that, but the way it's going now, people in building industry, they can't build because most of the things that are imported are now ×2 of the price. The food items, most of the food that we import, we can't import them. People, the schools themselves, anything that has to do with importation, imported books and all that, these things have gone astronomically high. Now, if nothing is done to check this, Nigeria will come to a place where a lot of money will be going outside the country and our money will become ordinary paper. So I believe the government should, as a matter of fact, call the economy to order. For instance, we have the ministries, we have the supervising ministries, we have things that are supposed to be banned from importation, we have the things that we are producing in Nigeria, we have every way to regulate our naira. Now that the oil price is gone down, in the international market, we can produce oil in Nigeria in sufficient quantities and sell to the West African economy, and then those ones will yield us foreign exchange and we'll come back to it. If Nigeria decide to take the advantage of the oil that they have, I think Nigeria will be better for it.
Know that Nigeria is a consumption country. They are not producing. Because of that, these goods and services come from abroad. They are to pay for with dollar. So before you see that our naira is keep on falling because of the monetary policy of the recent government. But all they need to do is that they have to look inward also to ensure that how other governments were doing it to sustain naira at that pace.
Every government has a monetary policy that helps to regulate this part of the economy. And now when you now try to feign ignorance and you keep telling the people the parallel dollar is 197 or 198, that is not the issue, because you're putting pressure on the economy by shutting down, the in and outflow of these foreign currencies. And we still know that Nigeria is a predominantly importing nation.
When the dollar is falling, it lies on the president. When the country is normal, also now the president and the action. And they don't see Buhari with his age coming to do anything. He's the president of refreshment. He only came to refresh himself. He's not bothered of whether the dollar is falling.
Some stakeholders think we can surmount this problem if we begin to think Nigeria, if we patronize our locally made products and think of how to be a producing country rather than a consuming one. I am Ifoma Igwe Ukafo. Good morning.
Okay, thank you very much, Ifoma Igwe Ukafo, for that lovely presentation and that report there on the effects of the increase of dollar to naira. Well, I think yesterday and today now we're told that there seems to be a slight decrease, talking about the exchange rate between the dollar and the naira. Well, you say that for some, most especially for people that have people abroad, they are happy this period because you bring a little dollars back home now, it's plenty of money, plenty of thousands, and you can just do a whole lot with that. Well, the program is still this morning on ITV. My name is Evan Sunokoge, and of course on Sunday, which was on the 21st of February, 21st of this month, was World Mother Tongue Day. Well, if I ask you, do you know how to speak your language? Do you speak your mother tongue? And of course, you might say yes or no. Well, if you ask me, I would just start by greeting in my own mother tongue. Well, on my father's side, they will say Naigbia. Naigbia means good morning. While on my mother's side, on one side, she will say Lavize. While on the other side, she will also say Delahe. That's Benin and Usain. Well, today to do all that we need to do today on the program, and also in our discussion segments, we are privileged to have squadron leader Ihile, a retired squadron. So you're welcome to this morning on ITV.
Koyo.
And of course, let me say Lavize to you.
Where's he? Hello, viewers.
Okay.
Happy New Year.
Okay, and of course, we are also privileged to have Jane Osaigi, a retired head of school and a social worker for now. She's a mother. She was once a teacher. And of course, when it comes to indigenous language, she's one person that she will fight to make sure that children speak and parents teach children how to speak their language. Call Malawizi.
Oh,
yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Just like what I said now, that the 21st hours of Sunday was World Mother Tongue Day, as put together by United Nations. And of course, we're told that the theme for this year's observance is quality education, language of instruction and learning. And of course, I decided to title this discussion today as Indigenous Language, a Tool for Instruction in Nigeria. Well, you might want to say, is that possible? So I'll just throw that question to my guest. Let me start with Jane Osaigi. Now, is it really possible? You were once a teacher. I mean, once a school head as well. Is it really possible you take, for example, a country like Nigeria into cognizance. Is it really possible for us to have indigenous language as a tool of instruction in our schools?
Yes, it is possible, but there are things to consider. You know, we have different ethnic groups, we have different languages. It means at certain levels, it will be in segments. At the grassroots level, let me use that word, yes, the different languages can be used, but when it comes to a central thing, we should collectively agree on a particular language to use. Because that's one of the problems we have in Nigeria. When we talk about unity, we've not been able to unite on the use of one particular language. For instance, in Edo State, there can be dialogue within the people and we decide which language. That does not preclude the use of indigenous language in the different segments, because in Edo South there is a spoken language which is indigenous, aborigine to say to the people around here. In Edo Central you have the same, in Edo North you have the same, but together we cannot have one. We can also then have a lingua franca that everyone can use. If you look at some of the West African countries, they use Swahili, but they still have their different languages. So it's very possible to instruct, to teach, to teach the children their own languages. Like it can start from the home. The home, make up the different units. In my home, we should use my language. In your home, your language, like that. When I say my language, I mean the head of the home, his language. Because sometimes you also have where a father is married to, and you know one very good thing about children, they can learn languages, more than one, when they are young. So it's easy, even when the father and the mother come from different ethnic groups, you can still use those two to instruct them or decide on which one you want to use. But in school, we are coming out now, where you have different people. There should be an agreement of one language, which is indigenous to us, to be used.
Okay.
So it's possible.
Now, all right. You said that it's possible. The very last time that we had somebody, Nigerian, as a matter of fact, who made effort to further unite Nigeria as a nation in terms of language was some years back by Professor Bangbushe at the University of Ibadan. And of course, he tried to coin 3 major languages in Nigeria, talk about the Igbo language, the Hausa, and of course the Yoruba. And I think that gave rise to the Wazobia language. But even as he tried to do that, we saw a situation whereby that did not hold sway. Because Nigeria as a nation is a multi-linguistic country, multi-lingual country. Now, Squadron Leader Ihile, the challenge that we face today is which language can a child be taught, in? I take, for example, in Edo language, in Edo State now, where you have the Etsako, you have the Bini, you have the Esan, you have the Akoko Edo. So it becomes a big challenge to know which language a child should be taught
in. Thank you. Maybe people are not aware that the Benin Cultural Heritage Center made a proposition and went to the governor, and the governor agreed that the Edo language, that is the Benin language, should be taught in all schools in Edo State. It also went to their ESCO and it was passed. But somehow the program has not started. His take was this. He told us about an incident in Abuja where they had a meeting, national meeting. Then it came to a point where every group had to discuss what contribution they will give to the federal government. So he said the Yorubas got to a corner, they spoke their language. The Northerners got to a corner, they spoke Hausa. The Igbos spoke Igbos. He said when he came to Edo State, they had to speak English, and everybody was hearing what they were saying. So he now said that it is good we have one language which we can speak. Because the Yorubas, every Yoruba man understands Yoruba. It is your Yoruba they are speaking, everyone. But they have Egba, that is people from Abeokuta access. Then you have Ijebu, people from Ijebu, Jesha, Okene, Awolowo's place. Then you have Ekiti. This is still Yoruba. You have Oshun, people from Oshogbo, speaking different dialects. But wherever a Yoruba man is, they understand themselves. Same thing with the Igbos. They picked the Owerri Igbo. But you have several Igbo dialects. But every Igbo man speaks and he understands himself. For the North, everybody, here I would like to tell my people that there's so much confusion. And any Northerner, an Edo man says, he says, he's a Hausa man. No. The Hausa, they are not up to half of the Northerners. Even the people polishing shoes and clothes, they are not even Nigerians. Talk less of being Hausas. But to come to the point of language, the Northerners, when they are together, they speak Hausa language. But there are various languages, like as you leave Nsukka, you go into an area in Benue State called the Idomas. They speak Idomas. Among the Idomas, you have the people called Igede. The Igede people are from Benin, but they are in Benue. Then you have the TV, all in one state. But when a Northerner speaks Hausa, they all understand. It's a common language to them. So out here in Edo State, we should also have a common language which we all can understand. But as Madam said, every ethnicity, in fact, I won't use ethnicity in Edo State. We are one ethnic group in Edo State. We are a homogeneous state. When you go to a place like Agenebode, I'm taking the extreme now. When they speak, and you are a Benin person, you listen carefully, you understand what they're saying. When you go to Akoko Edo, when you go to Onwa, you go to Okpila, it's all the same language. So if we now speak, as the governor says, we pick the Benin language and teach it in all schools, we will all speak one language and understand ourselves.
Well, you are saying, that you are saying this because probably you are a Benin man. For an Auchi man or for an Isha man, he may not accept that. And that would make me to ask...
no, historically, yeah. They are all Edo people.
I know, they all belong, I know, so, but you see, in language school those days, we were taught that no language is inferior to another. In other words, any language is capable of doing the same thing in as much as that thing is part of the realization of the group of people. Now, the problem I'm saying here is that there has always been this Cold War, so to say now, that which of this language becomes the language that is going to be taken. Remember, we are trying to see how indigenous language can be a language of instruction, in our schools. Now, take, for example, genocide. In Edo State, you have Edo language, you have Auchi, the Etsako language, you have the Asian language. Oh. If we're going to have a particular language in Edo State as a language of instruction in our schools, which of this language do you think should be taken, bearing in mind that no language is inferior to another, and for the fact that nobody will like his or her language to be subject to, to another?
No, what Epa was talking about the opposition or what has been adopted. I like to say here that Edo language has always been taught. It was called Edo language. Now it's Benin language. Edo language has always been taught in schools. Just like what you are saying now is what makes people to feel that, oh, I don't want to make us inferior, so let us not accept it. Even in GS3 exam, Edo language is one of the subjects that is written. So it's good we have a common language. And like you have asked, the Edo language, if it's called Benin or it's called Edo language, is what should be used. Because most times, the majority we always have his way. even when the minority has a say. So that's why I was talking about in our different homes, we still teach our languages to them. So because it's part of the culture of a particular group. So if I'm an Ishan, my children should be able to speak Ishan. If I'm from Esako, my children should be able to speak Esako. But when you step out of the home, there should be a common language. And the common language within Edo State, we are blessed to have, to have stemmed from one tree.
From one language tree, so to say.
From one language tree. So it will be very easy for all of us to accept the Edo language. Even then, when you now step out of Edo State, what language? There will still be so. That's why I was saying in different segments, we will have different languages. And for children, it is quite easy. To come back to the question you asked, the Edo language should be taken because I don't want to say we. They are majority, and it's the beginning, is the tree from where the stems.
So what about if I don't want?
We have a link, we have a connection. We should stop that Cold War of the Benin don't like the Ishans. We should come together as one because we are one. I remember Chief Anthony Enaro, of blessed memory. Once he had this group of Edo Pamahi. I was a member of that group for several years.
I'm a member. They're still on in the United States.
And he kept telling us that it's when we feel, this person is superior, the other one is inferior. He gave an analogy that a man has 10 children, for instance. The first son remains the first son, the eldest. The last son is still, or the last child is still a child. And they are all entitled to, they have the same benefits, they have that same link.
So in that analogy now, you're probably saying that the Benin...
Yes, the Benin senior.
Well, we'll take a pause. We'll take a pause so that we can join the news updates at 8:30. And of course, when we'll come back, we'll wrap up this segment. It is your program, ultimate program on television, this morning on ITV. Stay tuned.
My country people, una remember Easter Gbedu? Yes, Independent to television and radio don't come again. This one na memeristic swagarism for papa, mama, brother, sister, pikin. Even that baby wey dey inside belle wey never arrive. You dey inclusion for this Easter.
Skibby one, skibby two, skibby three,
don't let them do you take come mark a present as a gift to Sakwaf Ogetu. An additional gift for competitions like gospel singing competition, football juggling, egg raising, filling the bottle, hymn competition, and the star prize now boom. For that gospel band and the DJ Amando, then they on ground Gidigba to make you dance like Ikoto. ITV radio, una no go kill person no. The date na Monday 28th March for 2016. The time na 11 o'clock for morning. Venue unko na ITV radio corporate headquarters for Glass House, Airport Road for Benin City. The gate fees na ogbele 500 naira for one person. Make I see you there. This Ogbonge program will get support from Univar Institute of Technology for Siloko Road for Benin City.
This is ITV News Updates for 8:30. I am Oguchuku Bamidele. A pensioner yesterday slumped and died while waiting to be screened in the exercise put together to fish out ghosts pensioners in the public service in Edo State. Ikbamusa Ogiagbe reports that the incident threw other pensioners into panic.
Confusion at Oredo Local Government Secretariat as workers trooped out of their offices to catch a glimpse of the remains of the pensioner who slumped and died while waiting to be screened for his monthly entitlement. The remains of the late pensioner laid in the seat in the reception hall of the Oredo Local Government Secretariat. It was gathered that the late pensioner was at the Secretariat to participate in the screening for local government pensioners. It was learned that trouble started when the pensioners who earlier gathered at the Secretariat were told to relocate to Rockwater Hall where the screening would take place, only to discover that the pensioner had collapsed and died. Some pensioners lamented the situation, attributing the death to stress and lack of money.
It is stress. I suspect very much stress. He may have been there without food or any other thing else. Since 9 months, he has not been paid 1 month pension. He may not have any other source of livelihood.
But this morning when he came, when I saw him by the upstairs, but he said he has no power and that he has no money to buy any medicine or another food that he managed here. But on the long run, an alcohol machine died.
He came here for skinny. Can't do skinny. So now, with me also, because this is my own this is my own paper. I never even submit my own. 9 months, I believe now because he never eat, now he kill her so. Empty belly, now he can't take it. Almost 3 times more than 3 times where they do skinny, but salary they come, we don't see salary.
The remains of the dead pensioner were later taken to the mortuary. Ikmomosa Ugiagbe reporting.
The crisis in the Benin branch of the Nigerian Bar Association has assumed another dimension following the emergence of 2 factions. Pius Nsogo reports that while a faction insists that the alleged suspended chairman of the association, Barrister Patricia Yeoman, remains the substantive chairman, another faction says Barrister Emmanuel Ojekan is the new chairman in line with the directive of the National Executive Council of the association.
Some lawyers cited at the NBA Secretariat who pleaded anonymity attributed the alleged removal of Patricia Iyomo to her criticism of some policies of the Edo State government, citing the illegal demolition of some Uniben landed property. They challenged the power of the National Executive Council of the NBA to remove any branch chairman. Barrister President Aibokan, an executive member of the association, said Barrister Iyomo remains the branch chairman, adding that the NBA National Executive Council lacked the constitutional power to remove an elected chairman of a branch.
She was elected here, and until the members here who are under her decide to remove her, I think she is still in office till August. There's an issue in the High Court over the validity of the abrogation of the customary Court of Appeal. The NBA and some other persons took the matter to court. So the issue with the national and the state is that the state cannot take up such an issue with the name of the NBA without getting an approval from the national NBA.
In a swift reaction, the vice chairman of the Benin branch of the association, Barrister Emmanuel Ojekan, who has been directed to act as chairman by the National Executive Council of NBA, justified the action of the national body, pointing out that certain allegations were levied against Barrister Iyomo by the national president of the NBA, and that she was warned to make amends, which she ignored, hence her removal.
There are reasons that the president gave for why she should be removed. She listed out the reasons, he interpreted the reasons to include allegation that she took 2 million naira she's alleged to have taken 2 million naira from the political party in order to organize the Juson strike. There's an allegation to that effect. Then he filed a suit against the state government. That is, the MB filed a suit against the state government, and that the branches have no right to file a suit against the state government without the authority of the NBA National.
Normally, as with everything in life, there are normal reactions, those in support of it and those against it. But you see, that is irrespective because it's a national directive. The NEC is the highest decision-making body of the bar. The NEC has the power to create branches and the branch places.
When contacted for comment on the matter, Barrister Patricia Iyomo told the news crew that she was indisposed and would not be available for interview. Pius Nsogo reporting.
And controversy is brewing over the alleged plans by some unnamed party leaders to include more names to the delegate list of the Edo State chapter of the APC for the forthcoming governorship election in the state. Efosa Wangwe reports that the alleged plan is unacceptable to some members of the party.
Indication that controversy is brewing over the delegate lists for the governorship primaries of Edo State APC emerged following a report that the national headquarters of the party has blocked an alleged attempt to include more names in the list by some unnamed party leaders. Confirming the information, the State Publicity Secretary of the APC, Comrade Godwin Iran, said only the National Secretariat has the details of the issue and those involved. Comrade Iran, however, said any attempt from any quarters to include more names in the delegate list will amount to an exercise in futility, as such a decision has not been discussed at the party executive council meeting. He advised aspirants not to allow themselves to be swindled, insisting that smuggling more names into the delegates list through the back door is an attempted fraud that is dead on arrival.
To avoid a situation of fraud and sharp practices, we must ensure that there will be no replacement at all, and there will be no plus, no minus from the original list of delegates as compiled after the Congress of 2014. And therefore, only those who were elected then as delegates can vote at the primary that is to come. Anybody who is any delegate who whether is not part of APC any longer, whether as a result of death or defection, cannot be replaced.
Also speaking in the same vein, the state chairman of the party, Asem Ojezwa, who spoke in a telephone interview, said nobody can doctor the delegate list as they are known by all. On the issue of whether or not those that died or left the party can be replaced, the chairman said the state will make formal reports to the national for consideration.
That one can be done in accordance with the provisions of our constitution. When we have those information, we will also pass it on to the national executive.
Those aspiring to pick the APC ticket for the forthcoming Edo State governorship election include the Deputy Governor, Dr. Pius Udubu, the Chairman of Edo State Economic Team, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, former Minister of State for Works, Engineer Chris Ogewoyi, former Governor of Edo State, Professor Sereme Osumbo, Barrister Ken Imaswagbon, Charles Ariawe, among others. Efosa Wangwe reporting.
And that's the size of our news updates for this time. Many thanks for watching. The discussion on mother tongue as an instructional language continues on TMI. Do stay tuned.
Independent television, certainly the best.
Hallelujah, Christ is risen. To celebrate the risen Christ, Independent Television and Radio, in conjunction with Spokesman Communication Ministries, brings you Galilee Experience 2016 under the distinguished chairmanship of the Holy Spirit. It shall be heaven on earth as Spokesman Communication Mass Choir and ITV Blessed Voices spice up the event with melodious songs, featuring choir competition for choristers from different denominations with a star prize of 42-inch LED television. Ministry, Reverend Professor Gregory Irabo, General Overseer, Spokesman Communication Communication Ministries worldwide. Date Monday 28th March 2016. Time 6 a.m. prompt. Venue 1 Mechanic Road, off Sapele Road, after Ajip, Benin City. To discharge our social responsibility to the public, there will be free medical checkup by a team of doctors on Friday 25th and Saturday 26th of March 2016, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Readers are Honorable E.G. Agboima, member representing Ego and Ikbobaoka Federal Constituency, House of Representatives, Pastor Benson Ogeriaki, General Overseer, Star of Grace Ministries and Proprietor, Star of Grace School, Apostle Dr. Emmanuel Igeon, General Overseer, Banner of Solution Christian Assembly, Honorable Patrick Aguinede, former Commissioner for Basic Education, Edo State, and Managing Director, Patan Chemicals, Pastor Mrs. Obi Okeke, General Overseer, Christian Brethren Ministry, Honorable Joseph Ayegbeni Ogoke, Commissioner for Lands and Survey, Edo State, Pastor Kelly Obasui, Senior Pastor, Graceland The Full Gospel Ministry, Comrade Jude Obasumi, Chief Responsibility Officer, Josmaria Ekrina Foundation and President Conference of NGOs, Kangos, Bishop Gode Iboyi Okpokoro, JP, General Overseer, Promise Kingdom Ministry, also known as Overflow Chapel, Sapele, Pastor Azena Azeme, Omega Fire Ministries, Benin Branch, Honorable Omoegi Ogbede Iyama, member representing Oedo Federal Constituency, House of Representatives, Abuja, Prince Odi Okoje, Managing Director, Henold Integrated Limited, Honorable Victor Inobahaye, Chairman, Ega Local Government Council, Evangelist Steve Wealth Iyamo, Senior Pastor, Canal Land Deliverance Ministry, Honorable Dr. Felix Godsent Akabwe, former National President, Argon, and Chairman, CEO, Jofel Supreme Group of Companies, Honorable Sam Obo, Chairman, Asa Northeast Local Government, Uromi. Come, experience the Galilee experience with us.
Okay, the program is still this morning on ITV on independent television here in Benin City, and we are still on our first discussion segment talking about mother tongue as a tool for instruction in our schools. Well, I'll just read out something from the UNESCO Director of the United Nations, UNESCO Director General, and of course it says that mother languages in a multilingual approach are essential components of quality education, which is in itself the foundation for empowering women and men and their societies. And of course, we know that just like what I said, that every 21st day of February 20 of every year is reminiscence, you know, for what happened in 1952 when 2 students were killed in Pakistan simply because they advocated for their own mother tongue to be one of the languages that were being thought of to be the national language in Pakistan. Well, today, this morning on ITV, we still have Jane Osagie here with us. Madam, you're welcome one more time.
You.
And of course, Squadron Leader Ehi Igile, retired, sir. You're welcome one more time. All right, sir. Domo, sir. All right, Madam, because we're trying to say here that the way it is now for our children to really be enhanced in terms of mother tongue, then of course it has to start from school. In other words, mother tongue, indigenous languages should be a language of instruction in school. Now, the question is, do you think that if we do this, it will have a way of enhancing education on the part of the children and also enhancing teaching on the part of teachers in schools, if mother tongue language are used as a language of instruction in schools?
Yes, it will enhance it. Because, you know, if you, after having the child, you are training the child or instructing the child in your language at home, and the child goes out, the child is more able to understand when you introduce a new thing. And, you know, the child can absorb it from the perspective of knowing it at home. For instance, maybe this is shoe, ibata. You know, and you know, he gets to school, it's reaffirmed. The child, you know, when you are able to speak your language and that child is brought up with high self-esteem, the child feels good and does not feel left out. For instance, like I said, it will be in different segments. Edo language can be adopted for Edo State. In Edo South, Edo language will still be there. In Edo Central, because Isha is also a language they use within, outside using it at home, it can also still be part of what they learn, in addition to Edo. You know, so it will make the child understand, it makes the child feel freer to understanding. But it will also give more work to the government because the languages now have to be very refined, and then the training teachers who will be able to actually speak the language and also instruct in the language. So the government will have a lot more to do.
Okay, now that simply means that the government may have to revisit some of its policies as far as education is concerned.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because it's dynamic. From time to time, what will enhance the teaching? Once I was speaking with one of my friends. She's from the Netherlands, and I said, "You don't seem to speak English very well." She said, "Is English my mother tongue? In England, do they speak Dutch?" No, you know, the Dutch for Germany is different from the one spoken in the Netherlands. And she was trying to tell me, why should I? Why should I speak their own language?
Now,
but if it comes to a forum where the Dutch, the English, and others we meet, they speak, they are able to communicate. At different levels, we should have the different languages we use to communicate. Like I said at the beginning, it's part of why we have problems in Nigeria. We keep saying we are one Nigeria, but we've not been able to agree on choosing a common language for Nigeria. Nigeria is one country, you have 3 languages, and yet you tell us we are the same.
Okay, now
so it calls for unity too. Yeah. When you speak the same language, there's unity. It boosts yourself, who you are.
Now, Squadron Leader Egile, I think the challenge here is because I'm just trying to kind of wonder if maybe subjects like mathematics, biology, I'm trying to wonder how you can use Edo language to explain some expressions. Take, for example, for your simultaneous equation, how you say, you use Edo language to say 2 raised to power x equals to y, z, and all that. Now, bearing in mind that because this language we are talking about, now language is a product of the people's realization. Take, for example, in Edo language, the word vehicle in English language does not really have a lexical one-word name in the Edo language. But in English language, you can say a vehicle. But in Edo language, you try to use a descriptive word, okoto. Because why? Because the vehicle, as it were, is not part of the realization of the Edo people as a group of people. Now, I'm trying to say here is that if we now begin to say that, okay, we should start using indigenous languages as language of instruction in schools, don't you think that we're going to start having this kind of problems whereby we have difficulty in finding suitable, words, even in our suitable expressions, even in our local languages to teach, some of these subjects in schools?
Not at all, not at all. I'll give you an example, practical example. When you go to Ethiopia, when you apply for Ethiopian visa, it's all in Amharic, in their language. Then subtitle, small in English. When you arrive at the airport, you hear Amharic first before any other language. And they computerize everything, so it's all false. If you go to East Africa or South Africa, they use Swahili, Kiswahili in broadcasting, doing everything. So it's just that we're kind of lazy mentally here to take a decision. Do you know in 1977, in Festac, during the colloquium, they found out scientifically that 2 major languages were spoken in Africa, apart from Arabic for Morocco and Co. They found out that the Hausa language cuts across West Africa. So they chose Hausa language to be the language for West Africa, then Swahili for Eastern Africa and Southern Africa. It's just that we are kind of lazy. We like to take things easy. Yes, when you want to do a good thing, there'll be some little difficulties at the beginning. Then later, everything will pick up. Like I told you, when Benin Cultural Heritage Center went to the Commissioner for Education and asked why Edo language was not being taught in schools, they said they didn't have teachers, and that the teachers they taught for languages are always required for English language. Then we told them, okay, in 5 years we'll provide 3,000 teachers for you. So we went ahead and thought, sponsored 300 teachers. They graduated. The governor was there when they did their graduation, but the will has not been there to employ these people. So we have not been encouraged to teach more people, because the initial 300 we thought, plus about 65 others given to us by the palace, we are not employed. So today they are doing nothing.
Okay.
So this is the reason. But once you get started, you were talking about United Nations, excuse me, this little digression. The United Nations has a program where they say all children in the world should be taught in their mother tongue for the first 5-6 years before adding a foreign language to it. So all these things are there. You argued about the Esa or Onwa saying there, the Edo language which you call Benin language, actually called Edo language. It's not a Benin language. Edo language is the root of all the other languages there. If you permit me, Esa is branch of Edo language. Onwa, the same thing. Esako, the same thing. Akoko, Edo. They are one language, having a root. The major language is Edo. And these are branches of, So it should be adopted in all schools. Like Madame said, it doesn't prevent you from speaking Asian language or teaching Asian language. In fact, children can learn 8 languages at a time, and they will never forget them in life. I learned the Edo language when I was in primary school, and up till today, I send text messages to my relations abroad.
Do you teach your children Edo language today?
Yes, yes. Even in United States, we have programs where they teach Edo languages to their children, and they speak. It is the will to start something.
Okay.
I really believe in it, and it will work.
All right,
You will find
Sorry. Yeah.
You will find out that when we now speak one common language, there's more unity, as Madame said. Abroad, if you hear somebody speak your language, you will rush to him. Oh, are you Edo? So our late father, Nahoro, emphasized that we must speak, all of us must speak Edo language to unite us.
Okay. All right, Genosage, you are a mother and a parent too. So what do you think is the role of the parents, in all of this that we are talking about? Because everything starts from the home.
That's the beginning. Before I go into that, I want to say, you were talking about being descriptive. There are some English words that are descriptive of a part of objects. So it's not a problem.
No,
it's just for us to
know, yeah.
Okay, it's for us to be able to surmount
there are even words in Nigerian language that don't have an English equivalent. Take Amala or something. So when you teach children things around them, they will comprehend other things better than,
The parents
we have our own local environment and things. There is no Akbo word in English language or Otien. We have so many things.
No, Otien is Sherry. Otien is Sherry.
So you are calling it Sherry. It's not.
They are in the same class. The same class. There's classification when it comes to food and so on.
So what's the role of parents?
The role of the parents can't be overemphasized. The parents need to teach these children, because if we don't teach them our languages, it also will lead to hegemony, where you begin to prefer other people's languages to your own. We made a mistake, my husband and I, at the beginning. I don't know if I've mentioned it to you before. We made the mistake of thinking, let's teach the children English. And then we started to teach. My husband used to read Edo News in NTA. Then we just came and we felt, no, let's teach them English, because that's what they learn in school. We forgot that they needed to learn their own, to have their own root first before building on it. At the point we realized this, we came back to teaching them. It got to a point that we would say, attach an incentive to it. If you need something and it's really important to you, You have to say it to us in the language. Because my children had to go out, and there was a time they were in school in the University of Ilorin. They were living with somebody, and they needed to come. The person is not an Edo, it's an Edo person, but not a Benin person. They needed to communicate something, and then there was the only landline. So they went to Nitel to want to talk with me, and the man was the one who took them to Nitel. So they could not communicate. He said, and my first son said, "Mommy, Emini Honita." Omagimeta. You know, that thing touched me. So I said, okay, in the evening, you can always come back. Because we had the landline at home. They needed to use Nitel to communicate. So when they communicated in the evening, I told them, I felt really bad and I felt guilty. And I told my husband said, this is poor, this is bad. We have to go back. And we now started teaching them to speak the language. And today I'm happy that they are able to speak.
Okay, squadron leader, 1 minute as we wrap up.
important.
Finally, just 1 minute from you.
Yes. What do you want me to talk about now on the language?
Yeah.
Yes. I've once said here on this program, in this television, that I blame our women mostly for our children not speaking our languages, our indigenous languages.
Why? Why do you blame the women?
I said that they carry the children for 9 months before delivery. After that, they breastfeed them, they talk with them, they bath them, they give them food. But when they start using, you never come, you go late for school, it's not even good English, not proper English. That's where we all get it wrong. But when you speak, the children stay more with their mothers than with their fathers. It's proven.
All right.
So
Thank you very much.
When they speak our language or our indigenous languages to the children, the children will come up speaking.
All right, Genocide, thank you very much for this time, and also Squadron Leader.
Thank
you. Extend that to Squadron Leader. The truth of the matter is that we must speak our local language, because for those of us that were privileged to learn our local language, is a very big thing that our parents did for us, because personally I know what that has done for me. And but again, I think the challenge is on the children too. The children also need to aspire. Even if you know that your parents, that they are not helping you, you as a child, try as much as possible, because one day is certainly going to help you in life. The program is still this morning on ITV. We'll take a short pause now, and of course we're going to bring Gregory Ogiogwa, Barrister Dan Ogbege, and also Ken Irunse on the next segment now, Internal Democracy and Succession in Nigerian Politics. Stay tuned.
Election don't come again.
save your tomorrow. Young and old, follow your heart. Not time for peace, one love and hug. Love your neighbor as yourself. And remember, but before now your vote to get. Fight for your rights. Come out and vote for your peace.
We know one thing, war for the peace we dey look for. Election don't come again. We know one thing, fight for the peace we dey look for.
Yeah, Rezo State, my people. Let's stop the violence and killing in our nation. We don't need to kill one another to get to the next level. Let there be peace, love, unity, oneness.
The world is a global village.
And that's because information travels beyond boundaries.
And on This Morning on ITV,
we guarantee unbiased analysis on topical issues
that will educate you,
entertain you.
So join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Every Sunday to Thursday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your ultimate news and current affairs program on television, This Morning on ITV, TMR. Join us!
As the world becomes more complex and intensely competitive, we give you a handle on the big stories that often don't make it through the regular news. We push you all of the internet-powered tools to make your voice heard. So follow the stories and follow the show right here on Independent Television every Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Eyewitness on Independent Television. The stories as they happen.
It yourself. We don't come with our Ogbonge program where ITV don't put together to teach you how to become Oga of yourself. We go teach you now how to do the following things: bar soap, toilet soap, liquid soap, ice cream, yogurt, pineapple and all kinds of juice, chalk, candle, hair shampoo, hair relaxer, tie and dye, paint, hair cream and body cream, hair pig, rabbit, snail, grass cutter and fish. We want train our women how to make cinnamon hats, fish nets, feather hat. This workshop will take place for Glass House Airport Road, and the day will go happen now
23rd and 24th of April 2016.
Will be Saturday and Sunday. To take part for this workshop now, check Kele money will be 500 naira. Now you go take collect the form, and 5,000 naira. Now you go pay to do the training. My brothers and sisters, who now do?
On the program this morning on ITV and on Independent Television. Internal democracy and succession in Nigeria politics is our next focus on this discussion program for today. And of course, I have Greggy Ogogua here, so you're welcome to the program this morning on ITV.
Thank you very much.
And,
Thank you.
Barrister Dan Obegie, also welcome. Ken Erunse, also welcome to this show today.
Thank you very much.
Well, it is said that democracy is, a game, so to say, that has to do with the fact that people have to come together and choose who represents them at every segment, at every point of, leadership, and at everything that has to do with politics, so to say. Well, one thing that is so key in politics in this country is the seeming nature of the lack of internal democracy among political parties. Well, we understand that for Edo State, the election is quite very close. And starting from today, some political parties are going to be doing their World Congress. Now, I really don't know what is happening, what is really going on. I think I'll just start with Gregory Ogiogwa. Now, why is it that there has been this seeming nature of lack of internal democracy, among political parties in Nigeria?
Well, that's a relatively general question and a very general statement. I do not know about some other parties and their levels of internal democracy. You can only tell a tree by its fruits. So if you see a party that is able to handle its own problems of succession, then you know that it has problems of internal democracy. But then if you then look at other parties who have successfully managed succession, then you can also then say they have relatively good internal democracy. I can't speak for the PDP. Their results at elections speak for themselves. But I can speak for the APC, and you can see that the results of elections from APC states in areas of succession have been always good, relatively always good. So you can tell that APC then does obviously have a very high level of internal democracy and has a very good process of succession. That is very, very obvious. There are all sorts of things that come into the issue of succession. It is not, succession is a natural phenomenon. It happens in nature. If an organism dies, another one of its own type immediately replaces it. If you go into companies, corporate bodies, ordinary civil society organizations and so on, there must be a succession policy, because any leader or any chief executive of an organization that does not have a succession policy, that does not leave a viable and successful successor in himself, is a failed leader. So the issue of succession, it goes all the way down to even families. That is why fathers will, there's the principle of primogeniture, eldest son takes over from the father. There's succession, there's the heir apparent, and then the processes that lead to the choice of succession, under different circumstances, in churches, in civil society. So there's nothing different in politics. It's only that when politics and political governance under a democracy comes into place, that you then find out intricacies that turn up, where different power blocks and stakeholders and different factors that affect that society's destiny then come to play. But succession is a very natural phenomenon, and in nature it happens so neatly and so seamlessly that there's a saying that nature itself abhors a vacuum. So it's taken, it's given that succession must be. And like I said, I can only speak about the APC, and we have an excellent record on internal democracy and an excellent record in succession planning.
Okay, Barrister Dan Ugbege, perhaps you may want to speak for the PDP.
No. I didn't come here to speak for the PDP.
Yeah.
I came here to talk about internal democracy
and succession.
Yeah, and I expected my friend Greg Ogiogwa to also speak in that line. For us to have an orderly society, there must be orderliness in public institutions. Political parties are public institutions. If they don't run well, the government will also run well. So that's why we should be concerned in how political parties are run in this country. Now, we are subscribed to democracy and the principles and tenets of democracy. So if we have done that, then we should be seen to be democratic in our actions and in the processes leading to putting people into government and succession. Many of the political parties in Nigeria do not have this excellently well laid out. Maybe because we had long years under the military. And I believe that in the process of time, we'll get it right. And what I'm saying is this. You do not, like for instance, the PDP, was in government at the national level, and you will see that under the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, there was a bit of autocracy, in fact a lot of autocracy in determining those who will represent the PDP in elections. At that time, many people were deregistered because they didn't want them to contest for primary election. But under Jonathan, you will see it was a lot different. In terms of, propping people up to contest for primary election, there was better level playing ground and all of that. Today as we speak, even when the PDP had concluded plans to conduct world congresses, but because of a court injunction, the PDP has just cancelled their world congresses that are supposed to start today. And they are shifting until a later day, until they probably, iron out the issues of the court proceedings. So this is what we're talking about. So there should be rule of law. There should be respect for the principles of democracy in the various political parties. That will therefore translate to proper democracy when we're in government. Now, when my elder brother Gregoga said that the APC has excellent succession plan and there is internal democracy there, I cringed here. Because even right now, we are seeing it play out in Edo State, with the governor trying to impose a particular aspirant on the other people.
Well, but it's been said that that's an allegation.
It's in the public domain. As we even speak, there was a news item yesterday that was circulated everywhere that the national chairman of the APC, has taught some people, some elements in the PDP from adding almost 1,000. Some elements in the APC, from adding almost 1,000 delegates to the old delegate list that they have. So if you start doing that, if you start shifting the goalpost when the game has started, that is not fair play. That is not a good succession plan. Everybody must be allowed to be involved in the process that produces the candidate for the political party.
Okay.
Even in Lagos State, for instance, we all know in Lagos State, for instance, the governor, the deputy governor, or the commissioners, or the members of the House of Assembly that APC produces, the 3 senators, the House of Rep members, I think about 15 or thereabout, are nominated by one person, Bola Tinubu. So there's no internal democracy there.
Okay. Now, Ken Irunse, Barrister Dan Ogbege talked about the fact that it seems is because of our time with the military government. Even Prince Ogegwa also said that too. Now, from that time to this time, one would have thought that is enough time for us to have gotten things right. I keep on wondering, any little thing will make allusion to, our time with the military. I mean, it's a whole lot of time that by now we ought to have gotten things right.
You are very correct, Evans. Let me just start with this. The internal democracy is a veritable tool for democratic development and growth in any nation. In other words, lack of it is inimical to development of democracy. So it's something we must all abide with. The issue of the military being in politics, I just want us to correct one perception here. The military, we are not new in democracy. It is. I see it as an excuse whenever we are trying to commit or trying to go an influence over it. Like creating campaigning under the Democratic Party. You have the other guy, Donald Trump, yeah, the Republican, and they are busy moving from one state to the other, canvassing for votes. And this is how it's supposed to be. Because why? They have the intention to come and serve the people. So they need to go back to the people and seek for their votes. So that is the reason why democracy is working out there. But here, we don't go to the people to seek for votes. What we simply do here is to go to one godfather to seek for vote, or to seek for, what do you call it, approval or adoption or whatever you want to call it. These are the things we must discourage in this democracy.
Okay, now Prince Greg Ogegwa, there are so much allegations everywhere, so much rumors here and there that the governor is sponsoring particular candidates and all that. Now, going to what Ken just said, now, is it that at times that some of our political leaders that they cannot just leave aspirants alone, to do their bid themselves, or that the aspirants themselves on their own at times, they cannot do their bid for themselves? I really don't get it.
Well, it's pretty simple, like I just said in my opening statement, so that any chief executive, be it of a company, corporate body, a political party, or government, that is not conscious of succession as a principle of life, in nature and in artificial societies, and who does not provide for a viable successor, he himself is a failure. So it is impossible to ask a chief executive who is interested in the continued existence and the continued propagation of an originally agreed upon objective. It is impossible for such a leader.
Yeah, but in politics, that may not work out.
No.
Because in politics, we're talking about letting the people make the choice themselves.
Listen to this. Listen to this. Now, every political party has an ideology. The problem with the other political parties in Nigeria is like they do not have an ideology, really. Now, the APC has a fledgling ideology. That ideology in the APC is the dictator. It is the ideology and the compliance, the closest proximity to compliance with that ideology that determines whoever it is that carries the party flag. The ideology of the All Progressives Congress is progressive, developmental, and welfareist. So those are the criteria. It is who fits best into those criteria, who will best have a viable succession plan, because the internal democracy was wrong. You've had at the federal level where President Obasanjo, like he said, was autocratic, chose his successor, and it turned out that within a couple of months that it was the wrong choice of a successor.
Okay, hold on. I'll just let viewers out there know this breaking news now. The PDP Congress that's supposed to be held today has been postponed till further notice. Details will be brought to you later. I think Barrister Dan will said that. So I'll read that again. The PDP Congress that is supposed to be today has been postponed till further notice, and details will be brought to you later. Let's go now.
Well, that's a perfect example. That news item itself is a perfect example of the PDP's failure.
No,
because listen, the Congress is different. No, hold on, sir. Hold on, sir.
The APC that does not even I'm going to take your mind back to Kogi State. Now, I remember in Kogi State, during the time of the primaries, similar thing happened in the APC. I mean, the APC primaries in Kogi was shifted.
Hold on.
Let's not talking
about. I want to because you see, succession has a process. It has a process, just like he said, that there must be a process, and the process must be seen to be equitable and to be fair. We agree. Part of the processes are congresses. Part of that process are primaries. So, for example, the reason why you have congresses is so that you can elect delegates who will then go and elect a candidate at the primaries. So, congresses are a part of the succession process. And I'm saying the succession or internal democratic process. So they fall very much into this. Now, the PDP is in court with itself. This has nothing to do with the APC now. They cannot conduct congresses. You've seen what is happening at the national level. They cannot even conduct a succession process for their own chairman. They've had more than 3 or 4 chairmen in the last couple of months because they do not have a viable succession plan. And like I was saying before, when President Obasanjo, like he said, chose autocratically his own successor, it was obviously a wrong choice because the man was not physically, health-wise viable to become a worthy successor, and he passed away. And then he then fell upon a man who did not have any plan in the first instance for succession. And that man could not even then plan his own succession for himself. So I'm pointing out that the PDP, represented by Barrister Dan Ogbegi, has no moral.
I'm not representing the PDP.
Oh, okay, you're speaking for them.
When you say Jonathan, Prince, just hold on, Barrister Ogbegi. I need to get something straight, because this concept of succession that you're talking about now, perhaps so that our viewers at home do not get it wrongly. Now, you just said that Jonathan could not plan a succession for himself. Are you trying to say that Jonathan could not ensure that he won the election?
No, he could not. He could not impose himself.
So you wanted him to?
No, he could not impose himself. He could not impose himself. Not only could not impose himself, choosing himself as his successor was the wrong move. Now that is the difference. That the APC itself, it has nothing to do with personality. Our succession plan has nothing to do with personality, has nothing to do with political sentiments, has a lot to do with what our ideology is, which is progressiveness, developmentalism, and welfareism. Because those standards those standards are objective.
But I think
the choice of succession.
Yeah,
Prince,
those people.
But
I think there's always a problem here because when you talk about the cardinal objectives of the APC, you talked about welfareism, progressiveness, and so on and so
developmentalism.
forth. Now, the point is that there's always an individual that pushes.
No, that's not true. There is an independent ideology. It is how compliant you are to that ideology that makes you emerge as a leader or as a candidate. So it is the ideology. It is the tenets of that ideology that actually dictates who emerges as the leader, as opposed to a Kabbalistic dictatorship that exists in the other party.
Yeah, Dan Ubege.
Okay, let me quickly respond to him. Now, when you say that a person, can one man know it all? No. Can one man be able to say, this is the ideology behind my party?
No.
So for that reason, I must impose this person.
No, nobody can say
other
that.
people.
Nobody can say
democracy, that's why we have democracy. That's why we have general election. That's why we have election, people coming out to vote. Because one man cannot know it more than every other person.
Absolutely.
So at the point where one man pretends to know it over and above every other person, then there's a problem. And that's why you have dictatorship and autocracy. The same man that Oshomole that came out to say, let the people lead, is now saying, no, I must choose for the people.
No, but
as he said,
if you say so,
as he said,
yes. Oshomole is just, this is my own opinion about it. Now, Oshomole is just an individual. He has his own right.
Excuse me, please. We all are seeing how commissioners are being perceived to be loyal to a particular aspirant. We all are seeing how people are being dropped. Even the national chairman of the APC said that Oshomole tried to add,
did he say so?
Almost about 1,000 more delegates to it, so that the votes can be tilted to his favor. So the point is, my point is that when we come out on national television like this, we must be able to speak truth to power. We must speak truth to the people and speak truth to power. We have a position, we have the privilege to be to converge both the governed and the governed. I mean, the governed and the governed to a place where they can actually meet and interrelate. But when we begin to choose partisan positions, there's a problem. There's a moral burden on us to speak truth to power, to speak truth to the people. Please excuse me. Now, the point is that no man is good enough to choose for every other person. The democratic space should be opened, should be liberal for people to be able to choose their directions, wherever they want to go to. Now, if I decide to vote for a particular person and you are fighting that person with all the instruments of power, what Oshomole is doing in those states? What's the difference between what Oshomole is doing in those states and what
Are you talking of internal APC politics?
So, whether internal or external, the point is that there cannot be democracy if there's no internal democracy.
That's true.
So, internal democracy precedes the external democracy that we are talking about. And if internal democracy is not allowed to strive, then there's a problem. There will be disaffection, there will be a problem. You cannot pretend to know APC more than even the people. In fact, this same man that we are talking about, was he a founding member of the ACN that translated to the APC? He was not. So how can you not know the ideologies of APC more than even the people that founded the party and he vetted him to come and be governor?
It must be clear.
ACA transmitted to APC. We all know that.
Are you saying that you must have to be you must be in a party for donkey years before you know?
No, what I'm even saying is that no matter the time you join the party, you do not even have the power to choose for the people and railroad them to accept your preferred aspirant. And this same aspirant I heard has never been attending board meetings. Does he even have a ward? No, does he have a ward? Government is the man from. So we must look at all of this. We must look at all of this.
That's hearsay. You're talking hearsay.
No, if it is hearsay, I'm saying
he's asking questions. Yes, that's why I'm saying to you that it is hearsay.
The person we are talking about now,
who are you talking about?
Which local government is
who are you talking about?
Because I mean, the man you are supporting.
No, he's asking questions. But he's asking me questions.
Supporting.
Yeah.
So where is he from?
For example,
which one is he from? Does he know his word? So we must look at all of this.
No, what are you talking
about?
No,
I will still continue to make the point that I'm making. That eternal democracy must be institutionalized. Let the party members choose their candidate. Let the party members choose their leaders. You cannot come out and say, I must choose for the people. I know who must succeed me. I will work. I mean, he just mentioned Barack Obama just now. He's aloof. He's not supporting any aspirant in the Democratic Party.
That's not
true. He has not come out to endorse anybody. And even after the primary election of the Democratic Party, he might not even closely identify with the person, with the candidate of the Democratic Party.
Okay, we're going to take a short break so that we'll join the news update at 9:30, and when we return, we'll be able to take on the concluding segment of this discussion segment on the program this morning on ITV today. Stay tuned.
So this Lassa fever, now the cocoa thing, it does the apple for this country. It does the way the apple before. Now the year 1969, now they discover for this country. So it does they keep people for Borno State. Now they call name after the city called Lassa Town. So that's how the name take come about. Lassa fever.
Correct. Dangerous. And they carry Lassa. So you don't kill any rat. I'm ready for rat. Don't kill him.
Gary to there. And if you have to test the Gary now.
That's to kill all the rats we're doing that. Any rats where you see for your house, that's to kill them.
Rats there.
Rats not be in my house.
No, rats not be tested. Rats there your house.
A rat for my compound. But where they declare rat wanted, they hide now.
Oh, I thought it was 4 o'clock. 4? Yes. How you got to they know the rat where they your house? Well, I go know why rat go enter my house, where I block under the staircase. Where you go follow enter? That is rats there your house. In a day. Make we block all the holes where they our compound. They clear down our compound. All the food when we eat remain. Make we go through with them for dustbin.
Rats not there your house.
You don't know a mate now. You know they come my house. Where did they find from?
Rats?
Yes.
Rats there your house. Rat there, but any food when we say rat touch now, to where they to where now.
Thank you. This jara where you give me so. This orange jara where you give me so. This year 2016. Now double confirm orange you go to. Okay, my people, that night the show was soon on top of your television. Every Friday 2:30 p.m. We don't enter street.
This orange sweet.
It's a great morning once again. Many thanks for joining me. This is ITV News Updates for 9:30. I am Oguchuku Bamidele. A pensioner yesterday slumped and died while waiting to be screened in the exercise put together to fish out ghost pensioners in the public service in Edo State. Ikmamosa Ogiagbe reports that the incident threw other pensioners into panic.
Confusion at Oredo Local Government Secretariat as workers trooped out of their offices to catch a glimpse of the remains of the pensioner who slumped and died while waiting to be screened for his monthly entitlement. The remains of the late pensioner laid in the seat in the reception hall of the Oredo Local Government Secretariat. It was gathered that the late pensioner was at the Secretariat to participate in the screening for local government pensioners. It was learned that trouble started when the pensioners who earlier gathered at the Secretariat were told to relocate to Rockwater Hall where the screening would take place, only to discover that the pensioner had collapsed and died. Some pensioners lamented the situation, attributing the death to stress and lack of money.
It is stress. I suspect very much stress. He may have been there without food or any other thing else. Since 9 months, he has not been paid 1 month pension. He may not have any other source of livelihood.
But this morning when he came, when I saw him by the upstairs, but he said he has no power and that he has no money to buy any medicine or another food that he managed here. But on the long run, another machine died.
He came here for skinny, can't do skinny. So now, with me also, because this is my own decision. This is my own paper. I never even submit my own. 9 months. I believe now because never eat. Now I kill her so. Empty belly. Now I can't do it. Almost 3 times more than 3 times where they do skinny. But Salary they come, we don't see salary.
The remains of the dead pensioner were later taken to the mortuary. Ikmomusa Ugiagbe reporting.
Residents in Benin City have expressed worry over the prevailing excessive heat experienced day and night. Adeswalato reports that some medical practitioners highlight the implications of excessive heat on human health.
Reacting to the excessive heat, some respondents complained that they experience profuse sweating, sleeplessness at night, and tiredness. They said that they find it difficult to cope, especially in the absence of power supply, as they are forced to resort to using hand fan.
Everywhere is so very hot. You can see me now. I'm using my handkerchief now. Both day and night, everywhere is so hot.
The heat is too much. I really don't think I can bear it.
Speaking on the implication of excessive heat, some medical practitioners said that there are various implications on human health as a result of high temperature caused by the sun. Implications are weaknesses of the immune system, which give room for parasites to thrive, thereby causing malaria, heat stroke, which lead to dehydration, loss of fluid in the body, inhalation of dust and organisms in the air, amongst others. They advised residents to always give room for adequate cross ventilation by keeping their windows opened, taking off fluids, and avoid going out unnecessarily.
Sometimes when you are exposed to excessive heat, which is a result of the sun, especially among the people that we call the albino, the effect of the sun, of course, when it's on, and then they tend to have disease of skin.
Weather has been unusually very hot during this period, and it has also its medical implications. One of them is dehydration. People can easily get dehydrated because of incessant heat, because you are sweating a lot, you are losing a lot of heat excessively through your breathing, and of course your urine will also be less because you are sweating more.
Adesuwa Lato reporting.
Some members of the public in Benin are apprehensive over the inscriptions on walls and fences advertising for recruitment of workers. Ikmomusa Ogiagbe, who went around town, reports that respondents describe the new trend as a means to dupe unsuspecting persons.
A drive round some major and adjoining streets in Benin metropolis revealed that most fences now have inscriptions such as job vacancy, daily workers needed, factory workers needed, and others on them. These inscriptions, which also advertise the amount to be paid either on daily or monthly basis, ranging from 3,000 naira to 30,000 naira, also bear telephone numbers on them. Some members of the public describe the trend as a way of defrauding unsuspecting members of the public.
When we went there, they only gathered us in a kind of a place, in a shade, and they started telling us another different version. So, and that employment is not. We are short of employment. No employment anywhere. They are just, those are fake.
They are all fraudsters. Firstly, and secondly, they promote immorality.
I don't believe it. It's not real. As a matter of fact, because I've tried it, and I have about 3 people who have also tried it. It is not real. When you get there, they'll start telling you other things.
Commenting on the development, Edo State Chairman of Trade Union Congress, Comrade Marshal Ohwe, said some people are capitalizing on the high level of unemployment to defraud job seekers. Comrade Ohwe advised job seekers to be cautious in order not to fall prey to the antics of fraudsters.
Because they are aware of the unemployment situation in the country, that a high array of youths are unemployed, they now capitalize on it to scam people, take money from them unnecessarily. I want to use this opportunity to call on the state, local government, and federal government to please create jobs for the teeming youth so that they will have employment.
Ikmomusa Ugiagbe reporting.
And that's the size of our news update for this time. Don't forget to join us at midday for the world news. I'm Ogochukwu Bami Daily. The discussion on TMI continues in a short while. Do stay tuned.
independent television. Certainly the best.
Okay, welcome back, and it is still this morning on ITV, and here's an announcement now. The PDP Congress that is supposed to be held today has been postponed till further notice, and of course details will be brought to you later. Well, we are still on internal democracy and succession in Nigeria politics. Gregory Ogiogwa is still here with us, and Barrister Dan Ubege and also Ken Erunse. Gentlemen are still here with us. You're welcome, sirs. You're welcome one more time on the program. Now, I'll just go straight to Ken Erunse because we're trying to make a comparison between Nigerian politics and American politics. Now, America is going to have their presidential election sometime in November, and we've seen some of the candidates going around campaigning and all that. And somebody said that you cannot see Obama, campaigning for or trying to support any candidate. Now, are we trying to say that ordinarily you cannot support a candidate that is from your, or support the interest of your party, just like what we are doing here in Nigeria?
Thank you so much, Evans. The issue here, the same Obama we just talked about came to Ghana the other time, and he advised Africans that we should learn how to build institutions. We should not believe in strong people or strong men, but we should believe in our institutions. That means we must build our institutions. The reason for that is clear. In America, the institutions are already there. Take care of everything in America. You don't need if an Obama leaves tomorrow, irrespective of all the good things he has done for America, the system will continue. You understand? Mm-hmm. Now, the issue here is that here in Nigeria, particularly in Nigeria, we seem to have forgotten history all the time. We always try to, take one step forward and 10 steps backward. Just to take exception to what my friend said here, the APC as a party is built on an ideology of change, not dictatorial ideology. It's built on an ideology of change from the old ways to the new ways. I think that is what APC stands for. I stand to be corrected here. If that is what we stand for as a party, it then means that what the PDP were doing then, that we were complaining or we were criticizing, we should change it as a party in government at the center and at the state level.
Okay, now Dan Ubege, is that a status quo now?
But it is not, because if you look at what is going on now, there is a lot of autocracy in the APC. And please,
are you speaking for
have
the
your time.
No, are you speaking for the APC?
What we can see as an indigene of Edo State, a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I can see that there is so much autocracy going on. I mentioned the Lagos just now. We see how Bola Tinubu constantly railroad members of the party to choose his own candidate. I mean, there you have his in-law as a House of Rep member, you have his wife as a senator, you have his child, the daughter in various positions. He determines everything. So no man is good enough to determine the direction of another man without his consent. So they are saying that, look, there will be free and fair primaries. You are saying, no, it must be this my person, it must be this my person. And you are using instrument of the state to railroad everybody into supporting that your project. I believe it is wrong. And Adam Shomole has chosen the template of Bola Tinubu to translate to Edo State. And for me, it's a wrong template to look at. If you want to choose a template for governance, to move Edo State forward, not to try and impose your own candidate on the other party members.
Now, when you talk about imposition now, yes, the primaries is yet to be done.
Yeah, but we see all the moves going on.
Yeah, because I really don't. The reason why I'm asking this, Barrister, because I've not seen the candidates yet.
Yes.
I mean, for any of the political parties.
Yes.
Now, when somebody comes and he tells me that this person is imposing, I begin to wonder. I mean, we've not seen the primaries.
Because we know that right now there are subterranean moves, by him, to impose his aspirant on. I mean, he knows what I'm talking about.
All right. Quickly now, Prince Gregory has to wrap up.
First of all, I do not know at all what Barrister Ogbege is talking about. I think he also does not know what he himself is trying to talk about. He doesn't know at all.
We can pretend
he does not know at all. Because the first thing, what we do is this. What we do, first of all, is this. We do not speculate. We do not operate on rumors. We do not operate on bare parlor suggestions and postulations. We only operate on facts. The governor has come out by himself to say he is not imposing anybody, he has no anointed candidate, and that the processes of primaries will continue. Now, if he goes on, as Barrister Ogbege is talking about railroading people to vote for a particular candidate, look at the PDP in Edo State, for example. They only have candidates from Edo South. They don't have candidates from Edo Central. They don't have candidates from Edo North. They are railroading the party, first of all. Hold
on. So far, we see some candidates.
Hold on. You have seen, but in the APC, you have aspirants in the APC, you have aspirants from all the 3 senatorial districts, which shows you, first of all, that there is no zoning, nobody's being railroaded into any particular political zone. That's the very first thing. And then for us to now go into specifics, and he was talking about Comrade Adams Oshomole. And Comrade Adams Oshomole is the governor of Edo State. He's also a private individual. He has a right to vote. He has a right to his own opinion. Now, a man who has run an organization, albeit a state, for 7.5 years, meritorious years, and he is about to leave office, and we've agreed that there is no good leader that leads an office or any good parent who leaves his home without a worthy child to look after that home, or a worthy chief executive successor to continue to run the company or the organization along already established organizational objectives. Now, the organizational objectives of the APC, like he said, change. Yes, but change is rather, is rather general, and it is aesthetic. Now, the reality of it is progressiveness, developmentalism, and welfarism. And all these things are backed by one thing: the ability of government to finance progressiveness, developmental projects, and our welfarist policies. The government then needs the resources in which to do this. In a dwindling, in an economy where allocation is dwindling, foreign reserves have basically frittered out. Our challenges are not political. Our challenges are not ethnic, because we don't have a question or a problem with who the next governor of Edo State, or where the next governor of Edo State should come from. We don't have a problem whether it should be male or female. So our problems are not gender. Our problems are not even religious. We are not quarreling whether the next governor should be Christian or Muslim. We're just simply saying the challenges that are ahead of Edo State are economic and are financial. How do we continue to pay teachers salaries? How do we continue to pay pensioners? How do we continue to mobilize contractors to go to sites and to continue to work? And how do we bring in direct foreign investment so that we can create jobs and so that we can industrialize? Those are the challenges facing Edo State. Massive unemployment, continued development of our infrastructure, which in itself creates jobs, and sustenance of our payroll, and the ability to continue to provide for the welfare of our people. All those things boil down to resources. And therefore, what we need is somebody who has the ability to make sure that the resources, the economic resources, under such trying circumstances, are available for the state to continue to develop.
Okay,
those are
I'm going to pause you there. I'm going to pause you there. I'm going to plead with my producer if we can have a part B of this discussion segment, because we are really pressed for time. Now, as we wrap up finally, Ken, Aaron said, now, how can we really ensure internal democracy? Because I think this is the crux of what we're talking about. I'll just ask you that question and leave these two gentlemen out of it because of time. So how can we ensure internal democracy?
I won't have time to round up.
Don't worry. 2 minutes.
Internal democracy can be developed when we encourage transparency in government and in political processes. And we must, you see, I always mention this, we must focus on building institutions. Because the problem we have here is we believe in people, strong men. We don't believe in institutions because we don't build them in the first place. If my governor has built institutions, I don't see any reason why he should be bothered about who takes over from him. In as much as the person is from his political party.
It's not imposing.
In as much as that person is from his political party, that should be his only interest. Because the party has a common ideology. I think the party should have a common manifesto, a common ideology.
We also need to establish the fact that the APC, that's the governor's party, is just one party in the state. I mean, we're talking about the whole state, the whole interest of the state. The reason why I'm saying this is this idea of saying that somebody that will ensure continuity as what the government has started. Are we saying that there are no people in other political parties that can ensure this?
Of course, they are. They are everywhere. We have talents everywhere. Across I have to say, you have to be factual here. Across the political parties, we have talents everywhere. It's just for us to discover them. We have talents. Let's be frank here. Because but the issue is that we must identify the talents. And by identifying the talent, it's not by imposing candidates, really. It's by creating an enabling environment for transparent primaries to take place. And that will translate to internal democracy.
Right,
and that's when we can get the best candidates.
Yes, I thank God just now that President Greg Ogogo accepted that we have a problem of massive unemployment in Edo State. Every sector in Edo State is in shambles. The health sector, the education sector, agriculture. I mean, the government of Adamshimole cannot tell you this is one thing they've achieved.
We're talking of internal democracy.
In water, in everything. No, I'm saying something. No, I'm going somewhere. What the governor should do is to try is to focus on doing the best he can to be able to alleviate the sufferings of Edo people. All right, thank you very much. I'll pause you there. You there. Thank you very much, our viewers out there. This is the much we can take on this segment. And you know that this one on ITV comes away every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. By the special grace of God, I'm going to plead with my producer if we can have a part B of this discussion and of this topic so that our guests here will be able to drive home all their points. We'll take a short pause now so that we'll join Comrade Emerson on the sports, on our breakfast sports. Stay tuned.
There's some other drugs like cocaine, heroin, where we catch. But na Igbo, na be the major drug where people they dealing. Apart from all this thing where we do last year, say make we stop there. These people never stop. They still they do it. And we too, we not go sleep. As they not go allow us sleep, we not go let them make us sleep. The major thing, the same society, know say this thing where people they do, it no good. Make them help us. Now together we go feel erase this problem of drugs. So with the appeal say make people, make them they look their neighbor, the kind things where their neighbor they do. All the bad things where their neighbor they do, make them come talk them. Make we go together, go address. Advice where I go give my people. Make una come out hand for bad things. Make una they watch ITV. Make una watch Iziga. As una they watch Iziga, una go see how bad people they enter hand, they come suffer. So make una come out hand for bad things. Watch Iziga. Make you know your rights. Make you know the good thing where you're supposed to do. Make you know the bad things where you're not going to do. Thank you.
Watch Iziga for this station every Friday by 10:30 p.m.
Many thanks for joining me on Breakfast Sports on a Wednesday morning like this. My name is Comrade Emerson. I'm glad to be with you. And you know today is a triple sports program. This is the first lap. Secondly, we'll be coming by 11 o'clock and thereafter by 3 p.m. But on this note, Arsenal yesterday could not overturn the culture of the fixtures between the London side and the Camp Nou team Barcelona. Once again, they were defeated. And Arsene Wenger has admitted that it's going to be a difficult task to overturn the 2-0 deficit they suffered in the hands of Barcelona. Messi scored a brace in that match, one from the penalty spot and the other a dynamic and fast counter-attack supplied to him by his compatriot, or rather his colleague and South American fourth striker, talking about Neymar. And Arsene Wenger believes that this competition is as Barcelona side is going to be a strong force in this year's Champions League. They hear from Arsene Wenger.
We will not go there and just have absolutely no chance. But what we want is focus now on our next game. Barcelona masters all aspects of the game, and as soon as you're in a bad position, one or two players, you can get punished. But we had 2 or 3 opportunities to stop the first goal, what we didn't do because I think we didn't have the right response to the situation our players faced. I felt there was room to beat them tonight, you know. That is the biggest regret I have, you know. Sometimes you can lose against a team and you think there's nothing to do, but tonight there was room to beat them.
Well, Barcelona dominated the statistics. They had almost twice as many attempts, but only one more on target. They also had more corners and 2/3 of possession.
They are better than us. They are, and I believe everybody knows that. But I think we could have won the game tonight if we had kept the discipline until the end. And once again...
All right, that's Arsenal for you. By 11 o'clock, we'll bring you the comprehensive highlight of how they fell by 2-0 to Barcelona. Later on today, Manchester City and their coach, Pellegrini, who is currently on top heat at the moment, will be looking forward to overturn their slump in form recently, having lost 3 matches in a row. And they have all the hope to get across this stage that they've never passed in the last period of their quarterfinals or rather Champions League episode. Manuel Pellegrini and his side will come play that round of 16 match today in the UEFA Champions League. And Manuel Pellegrini believes that his side are in a good shape to do all good to Manchester City fans. Well, by 11 o'clock, we'll get to see all of these. I want to enjoin you to join me by 11 o'clock because we'll be looking at Edo State sports in the past 7 years. How has it fared in the state, especially in sport? Some say this administration have not done so well in sport. Others have said that this is the best administration, that the athletes have received a huge sum of money as reward for their performance in the National Sport Festival. Well, I'll be joined by seasoned sport administrators and participants to analyze and do justice to all of these pending questions that are the minds of many Edo State citizens. It's going to be a phone-in program, so I enjoy you to join me as we do justice to that. I'll be expecting Joseph Osagede with me. I'll be expecting Sisters Omogagbon, and of course, referee Okundolo. All will be with me on the program by 11. So I enjoy you to join me. It is on this note we come to the conclusion of the This Morning on ITV Wednesdays edition. On behalf of the presenter, Evans Unukugi, and all the crew that made it a success, I say very big thanks for being part of us. Tomorrow is another day with the Duke of the Airwaves, Sonny Duke Okosun. So be with us then. 7 a.m. is the time. Bye for now.